That's weird. Why is that stream still going?
Mm-hmm. I feel like jingle bells in my ear.
All right.
Oh, now I have a notification.
Now you have
Hello.
a notification.
I'm here.
So we're live again over here.
Ta-da!
But the chat over here is
Not working. It says offline.
weird.
JM says, Merry Christmas from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Merry Christmas.
Ace Fire said, this one works. Daughter Frost says, present. That's right. You were the first one there. You win a prize. You need more subscribers to your channel of amazingness. G. Warren says, Idaho here. Happy holidays.
Ooh, Idaho. I wish I was in Idaho.
Yes. Me too. Shaun of the Dead. Hello again. Process present. That's right.
Okay. So we'll pause that.
Why are we pausing?
No. We're still going. I just don't need to watch myself talking. Or I can at least... Yeah, because we don't need to stream ourselves. And we'll switch to live chat.
That sounds excellent.
And we'll pop out that chat.
Yep.
And then we do this. We do it like this. We do it like that. And there we go.
Yay!
Sorry for all the bumps and hiccups there. That was weird. And let's see here. Everyone present and counted for?
I'm here.
Killthread sounds good. Great. Sorry about all that. Homilies in the house. Jinglebeard rocks. You know, it's oddly... I barely even noticed that it's there. They're pretty light, but the funny thing is, it also came with silver ones, and I put them on and you couldn't see them.
It's because you're a silver grizzly. Ow. Ow.
Oh, there we go.
Ow.
That's mildly painful.
Yeah. Nope. Take them off.
Yeah, you can't really see it anyway. How about like a septum ring? No?
No.
Anyway, septum. Damn near killed him. Anyway, here we go.
Oh my gosh. Josh Stuckey says, just got in a car wreck when I got the notify of your live stream. Doing okay. Going to be listening to you in the tow truck. Thanks for great content.
Oh gosh, I am so sorry.
So sorry. I'm glad you're okay.
Why did you do that to him?
Well, ow. That would be my leg.
This is my foot space.
Okay, now,
we're married.
To get your own. Foot space is mine.
My feet are bigger than yours.
But I'm the wife.
I'm going to get the Sawzall and cut it off.
So, as you can see, it's situation normal here.
Yeah. All right, hold on.
I'm holding.
Yeah, I'm looking pretty strange tonight, Grizz. Hey, Echo, how's it going? Sorry, I did a shout out that said hi to most of you. You just didn't hear it before because the other stream for some reason was... Oh, we lost a red one. Here, that's all you... The other stream was going fine. We'll see how many I lose before the end of the night.
Oh my gosh.
And,
Really?
Can't help myself.
No.
Let's see here. Ta-da, we're back, he says. And let's see here. Shaun the Dead says hello again. Jinglebeard rocks. Echo says hello again. Let's see here. Took some time away. Jim says, took some time away from our booth at PRI. Went to talk to Tecton and Boxo. Both were great. And Boxo people had a lot of toolboxes to look at. And Tecton, lots of tools. They had some good stuff, both of them. I was really impressed when I saw them. Jerry Dixon, sysadmin for the win. Remember the secret. Anybody can be a tech person. All you have to do is just remember or memorize the phrase, have you tried rebooting it?
And then, is it plugged in?
And then, is it plugged in? That'll fix 99.9% of their problems. Yeah. And let's see, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you very much, Ace Fire. How you doing? And Dale's in the house.
Hey, Dale.
Let's see here. Whoop, it jumped on me again. I hate that thing. I'm on top chat. It switched to top chat from live chat.
Homily 665 said, Jinglebeard rocks.
Yes.
That's right.
Bear says, hey, Bear, Buddy Bear, or Bear Buddy, Florida Man here, Florida Man Bear here. I know you just did a combo video, but Hercules has a coupon with the drill driver. Oh, yeah. About them. So, I'm a huge fan of Hercules. I have toolboxes full of them. I have Hercules sitting there. I have Hercules sitting right there.
I am not a Hercules.
I've got one behind me. Here's the deal. Harbor Freight doesn't do those crazy blowout, below cost kind of sales, except as open box items at the parking lot sales.
You look gorgeous, Dad.
I do. Thank you very much. I appreciate your acknowledgement of my splendor. Hi, Princess. Anyway, the issue with the Hercules sale right now is that all the other companies have mediocre sales throughout the year. And I saw that, Eleanor. And
you stole the silver ball.
Then on Black Friday and Christmas, they have these, and usually right after Christmas, they have some amazing sales. Whereas Harbor Freight has really good sales throughout the year. And so I've said, unless you're that guy who can wait. Oh, Ace Fire donated $2. What do you have to say?
Lowe's.
Ow. I tried to put them on my ears. They hurt.
Yeah, that was not a good call. Lowe's. So what?
Out of work saws, grab the pole saw for $50.
Oh, nice.
Ding, 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 ding. Sorry to interrupt. Not sorry, not sorry. So unless you're that guy who can wait all year to buy your tools for this 1 month period between Black Friday and just after Christmas, unless you're the person who's like, I don't have to buy anything until then Harbor Freight quite often is a better deal for you. But if you are the guy who can do that, then Harbor Freight's not going to match those prices. When you look at that Hercules combo, it's a great combo. I love the tools. I think they're great. But here's the deal. They're not quite matured enough with this concept of putting together combo packages. It's not like a big box you go and buy and has everything in it. You just go buy all the items off the shelf separately, give it to the counter or put it on the counter and give them the coupon, and then they just do a discount across the board. Here's the deal. That means you only got a 90-day warranty. Now, if that's okay with you, great. But if you want the extended warranty, you can only buy the extended warranty on the drill driver and the impact, and it's going to be $20 each for a 2-year warranty. And there's no possibility about getting the extended warranty on the batteries. Also, the larger battery, that's up to almost $60 these days. So they're in the price range that we see most brushless stuff, or they're butting up against it. I can buy a Makita or a Milwaukee or a DeWalt, not that I like DeWalt, and as far as the pro level tools, in fact, I can get the Cobalt, and I can get a Rigid and a bunch of other stuff at the same price with full warranties. And it's just, I actually sent them a pretty long, detailed email saying, hey, I believe that as a friend, when your friend does something stupid, you should stand up and say, hey, I love you, buddy, but that was a bad call. And so I sent him an email just today saying, I appreciate that you're trying to do the whole package deal, and I thought you did a great job with the Bauer stuff, but this Hercules one just isn't going to fly at that price. I can't step up and say, hey, this is a great deal, you need to buy it, because it's just not. So anyway, I know I ranted on that kind of soapbox, but I wanted you guys to understand why somebody who's always supported Hercules and Harbor Freight is saying I wouldn't buy it at that price. Elkvis, thank you for $197. I see you with the uneven donation.
Woohoo!
Thank you
Cheers.
very much. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, I have a problem.
Do you know where my shirt is?
Your shirt? The one that's on you?
Jenkin,
Mm-hmm.
I love you. Are you talking about a school shirt? Yeah, there's some in my clean laundry. We'll talk about it later. We're live streaming.
I know. Amanda set me out here.
Anyway, so let's catch up here. I know that was a long one. All right, Mike, everything okay? Everything's good enough. It's great because I'm with my wife and my family. Let's see here. Guess the Dems are investigating you. For the Lego set, Harbor Freight 37081 funnel tray makes putting them together easier. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Catherine Ransom says, hi, everyone.
Hello.
And it jumped on me again. I hate it when it does that. Catherine, do we know each other in real life? I know a Catherine Ransom, so that's why I'm wondering. Let's see here. I'm here now. Who's watching wrestling? Oh, Steven's in the house.
Awesome.
Well, at least we rate above wrestling, but below NASCAR. Or any racing, really.
Catherine Ransom, $4.99. How's it going? With that little care thing.
$4.99 through Super Chat. Woohoo! Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Got a dusting of snow at my house, Osage Beach, Missouri. I thought it was a D there for a second. And I wish we had some snow. I was hoping we'd get some of that last kind of storm where it got cold and the snow was up in the mountains. By the way, up in the mountains is like 2 miles from us.
Yep.
It's a fairly high grade where we are. We're on the edge of Vegas up here, right near the mountains. Yankee Cantrell, $2 through Super Chat.
From the logging woods of Canuckistan, which I'm assuming is Canada.
Yes.
Much love.
Canuckistan.
Yeah.
You gotta pronounce it right.
Okay. I'm going to be back in 2 seconds, people. Do not let him take over.
Terry, you're more than welcome.
Anytime.
Just understand, if I miss it, I'm just trying my best, man. Let's see here. Thank you, Joe, for posting that in the other link. I really appreciate, or the link in the other one. I appreciate that. Commute. Taken bets you lose 3 total. Oh, the bulbs here, yeah. If the first 2 cures don't work, check all the connectors. There you go. Dean Russell, just subscribe. Welcome to the den, Dean. Sorry I missed you last week. I was driving home from New York. Hey, that's all right, man. And Daniel's in the hospital again. I'm terribly sorry to hear that, man. We will add you to our prayers. That is, especially this time of year, never great. Let's see here. Bear One says coupons good until the 22nd of December. And why Pop? I'll let her know you said hi. Yeah, as Dada Ross says, if you can, and I understand if you're already set up on YouTube and you don't want to, but if you can, if you donate through Streamlabs, and there's a link in the description. Also, some people have been posting it. I know Joe's been posting the link to it. The benefit of that is if you post it through that, it actually goes through PayPal and goes directly to us. A, they don't take nearly as big a cut as YouTube does. YouTube takes 30%. And B, YouTube isn't paying us right now, so we actually get the money. And YouTube doesn't sit on it until they figure it out. I'm going to tell you all about the YouTube payment saga as soon as I catch up on these chats real quick. Anton says, man, I just burnt my ribeye steak watching this live stream. Oh, that's a tragedy.
Tragedy and stuff.
Why Pop said to say hi to you, by the way.
This is Popeyes. Popeye?
How did you get Popeyes?
Amanda brought some home.
It's pretty good. Still no. Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A ran out, though. So.
No, they didn't.
Well, they haven't.
They're closed on Sundays. Roland Castillo just subscribed. Welcome to the den. Maintenance guy Mark saw your video on getting him a Tabo HPT set. Had the Cobalt. Have had bad luck with them. I'm sorry to hear that. They're definitely a prosumer grade. If you're a maintenance guy and you're doing it professionally, no thank you, sweetie. I can see that, over the long run being an issue. Elvis in the house. Heidi, Mr. and Mrs. Bear. How you doing? And let's see. And just when I thought I was almost caught up. Am I really that far back? No. What happened? I wish you guys could see what the chat thing does to me. Just as I'm scrolling down, almost caught up, the last inch makes it jump in this. It's just a pain. Does a warranty really matter for tools? Curious. It does, but it depends on how you're using the tools. In a lot of cases, I mean, I've rarely ever had to warranty tools, even when I was doing it professionally. And what I found by and large, the biggest issue as a professional is losing tools. Having somebody on the job site walk off with them, either be somebody else you're working with or somebody who's not working on the job site. Rarely ever a case of a tool actually just straight up dying on me, other than through neglect. Like I dropped a drill off of a 3.5 story high building onto concrete.
That was silly.
That died. It died hard.
That was really silly. Guess who set a timer on my Fitbit Versa 2 and then didn't hit the start button, so the timer doesn't work as well.
Yeah, that's kind of a prerequisite. Good evening, Christmas Tool Bear family, Matt Pereski says. Hey. And Brad says, guess what I'm doing? You're watching the Den of Tools. That's what you're doing. Anything else I don't want to know about?
Hey, could be like some interesting something.
Goodrich Knife Works says the Metabo table saw $299 down to $269 for being a vet. 35-inch rip, your option or your opinion. A sounds great. B Metabo makes good stuff. Does it have the lifetime warranty? No, it doesn't. That's only on the lithium stuff. The one above all is below me now. Just subscribe. And I don't have an extensive history with Metabo, but everything I've ever used or seen from them has been exemplary.
Yankee Cantrell says $2 for all the bell haters. Let it ring. Let it ring.
Let it ring. Sounds like a Disney song.
Yeah.
Gramino says, I can't justify the price of the Hercules cordless with it, then battery and charger. It's even at $150, it's compared to the prices of everything else right now. And the fact that they have a still limited tool line. Now, next year, I've seen pictures and heard things that I'm not allowed to tell you about because
you don't know anything about it.
Might turn me into a rug. Next year is going to be the year of Hercules, just like Bauer has been strong these past 2 years. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. We'll see this time next year if maybe the opinions change. Everything I've said is not about a question of the quality of the tool. It's a question about the value. And Advanced GM LLC says, smash the like button for the bear. Thank you so much, sir. Justin Dow's in the house. Justin, my man, how's it going? I know you've been real busy over there, Christmas time and everything else, getting ready. You and the wife and the cubs over on your end. Hope you guys are having a great time. Let's see here. Barbecue 76 says, I ended up having to work tonight, so unfortunately I'll be headed back in likely before you even get to this. Aww. Have a drink for me since I can't join in time. Sir, I am so sorry, but...
Bink.
Pro tip. If you ask for 2 fingers of your favorite drink, make sure the guy who pours it has big hands. Yeah. Little thing I learned as a cub. How do you feel about Metabo HPG tools? I think I pretty much just answered that. Yeah. Donna Raw, thank you so much, Donna Raw. You are amazing. You and Joseph both, certainly have our backs. Not like Steve. I'm kidding.
Hope you're doing well, Steve.
Still look at Steve. She said, I have a friend with a very thick beard. They can hang ornaments with regular hooks in there. Oh yeah. I don't think you could do that in mine. My beard is too fine and silky. Catherine says, I don't think so. I lived in Chicago all my life. Well, the person I know is not from Chicago, but I've been to Chicago, and it's a fine city. I love Chicago. First professional game I ever saw, Cubs game behind third base.
Yes, I know.
I used to live in the Midwest, so going to Chicago was the big city for us. Do you mind? You're kind of up in my business here.
I am your business.
Can you recommend a budget sliding miter saw? I think probably the best budget sliding miter saw right now is the Admiral when it's on from Harbor Freight when it's on sale for around the $170 price range. If you go to Harbor Freight coupon database, they usually have a coupon floating around for it. It comes with a good middle of the road blade. It's got lots of great features on it. Because every cheaper one than that is, once you add a blade, is going to be in that price range.
Howie Z says, I'm in Indiana. We invented NASCAR.
I thought that was like South Carolina that did that, but I could be wrong. Or actually Kentucky with the Moonshiners. The Lucky Driver says, howdy Jeff, love the Christmas ornaments. They're kind of fun. And Bear One says, in the stream tonight, chat might be linked to the old chat. Alright. So that's weird. I gotta figure out what happened there. And let's see here. Jumped on me again. Have you ever used the Pittsburgh motorcycle lift? No, I really wanted to get it. I haven't had space for it. Client Graphics in the house. Hey. I do know somebody who does have the motorcycle lift, and they've been liking it a lot. And they use it with a gold wing, so.
Sorry.
What?
Steven commented, how easy Moonshine Runners basically invented NASCAR.
Yeah.
That's cute.
If only I knew somebody who knew how to make moonshine.
If only.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Eddie says, starting my new DIY tool set, going with Cobalt mostly because of your shared knowledge and experience. I don't think you can go wrong with that for around the house and DIY or even a little bit of prosumer level kind of stuff. Let's see here. And Charles Siebert's nice ornament beard, thank you. Shaun of the Dead says stream is dead. Can somebody let Sean know that he needs to switch over? Oh, nope. Apparently stream is dead. Great.
What?
They're saying the stream's dead.
Okay, but you're the first one there. You win a prize. Oh no.
It says we're live.
Can you say if you can see us? And I'll look at the bottom. Can you guys hear us?
How many fingers am I holding up?
It says working.
Stream is not dead.
Working.
I think it's got to be a YouTube thing.
I don't know.
Will you comment down below? Let Terry and everyone else know that we're not dead and something's
Terry
going on.
says, I gotcha.
All right. Let's see here. Let's see. A nice ornament beard. 72-inch General or the Icon 73. The Icons are great cabinets, but only buy them if you have a specific need for a premium box. Otherwise, I'd get the U.S. General. Bear says, gonna be making knives on my new workbench that worked with the 25% coupon, as well as the belt sander that had 20% off essential machinery. Still valid. Yeah, there's one that's still valid to the end of the year. I can't wait to see the knives you produce. Send me a picture or a link if you do a video. I want to see them. I'm always fascinated with knife making. Chris says, Dead Tools, have you checked out the Braun line of rechargeable work lights and flashlights at Harbor Freight? They're pretty awesome. I do. I have, and I have several of them, and I've liked everyone I've gotten from them, except for one of the really cheap ones, which was just okay. It wasn't fabulous or anything. Let's see here. Fred said, I pulled the trigger, I replaced my Black & Decker drill and hedge trimmer, just replaced everything today with Bauer hand tools. Should I wait for the 5 and 9 amp hour batteries? I would. I would just stick with the batteries that it comes with, and then once those higher end batteries come out, I would go with those, because there's nothing like having a good high output battery. The 3 amp hour is nice, but I mean, literally, this should be a 5 amp hour battery for this size. It's just, there's no reason for it to be like that.
Fred Hill says, broke down and replaced hand tools with Bauer. $1.99 donation.
Oh, thank you. Gary Pope says, Rico Alert, my Matco drill died. Called my dealer. He told me there's a major recall from them and getting a refund, getting a Milwaukee drill when the Cornwall guys. Good call on that one. Looks like I miss getting into the new house before Christmas. HVAC guy flaked to me this weekend. Oh, that's a bummer. Sorry about that, homily. Matt says, I scored a great deal on a couple of M12 tools that were my wish list for a long time at Home Depot. Those are great tools. I'm going to be doing a whole thing on how I think a lot of DIYers should consider just going with 12 volt. Because 12 volt these days it's with the brushless stuff, it's gotten so powerful. It's as powerful as the 1820 volt was 2 or 3 years ago. And it's smaller, it's easier to use, it's less expensive. And let's see here. Gramute says, wife just walked in, looked at the TV, and thought she was going to fall on the floor laughing.
Oh.
That's why we do this. Where'd my red one go? I was going to put it back on.
It's in my hair.
You
Somewhere.
thief. That's all
Wrong
right.
side of the head.
I feel lopsided now.
Well, you are.
Any word on HF financing? Oh, thank you.
welcome.
The expectation is still that it's going to be first quarter, probably end of January, but it could be February or... It's hard to do this backwards.
Do you want help?
No, because you'll hurt me.
On purpose.
On purpose. There we go. It's hitting the other one. Okay, you got to fix it.
Okay. This is real life, people. In the trenches.
Ow! That's how she would complain.
Do you see that? Do you see what I
After
have to...
the fact.
Yeah.
Actually, she'd usually yowl before I even did anything.
Well, that's because you probably would have poked me.
Yankee Cantrell says, how do you feel about Ryobi is classified as a homeowner-only brand, yet they make tools for pros? They are across the spectrum. They basically make 3 levels of tools. They make a really low entry-level tool. They make some medium good prosumer tools, and then they make some stuff like the pecs, the metal shears, the grease gun. That grease gun that's straight up for heavy equipment. That's the only thing that's useful for. So they make pro-level stuff. People don't like to admit it. I got a lot of people who like to feel superior because, well, I bought Milwaukee. And, well, I'm like, that's great, but Milwaukee is owned by the same company. If you look at the tools, a lot of them are pretty close. Do you think China tariffs are going to help Harbor Freight now with its almost being finalized? The farmers are going to be happy again. Yeah, I think that in the long run, the tariffs are probably going to be a win for Harbor Freight. It's a big, long discussion as to why, but I think it is. Let's see here. Oh my gosh.
Mike Adams says, Mom says she likes your colorful beard.
Thank you. Charles Seabridge says, how do you like the new Icon Toolbox? It's fabulous, man. It's great. It's stupid expensive.
Do you mean mine?
Yeah, not yours. Matt Pereski says, M12 grease gun stapler, each 129 with tool bag, 4.0 amp hour battery and charger. That's not a bad deal. Any word on Harbor Freight financing? We just covered that. Stream is not dead. That's good to know. 4 fingers. If you're an elf. Let's see here. I think my parents have the Pittsburgh motorcycle lift. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe get a picture of it. Maybe an operation or
that'd be
something.
cool.
Nameless Ghoul. Yo, the bear. How goes it, man? Ronald Smith. You're alive. The zombies haven't gotten you yet over here in Altamont Springs, Florida. Fascinating.
Just saying for Berkeley.
8 fingers, but I'm drinking, Terry says.
I saw that. Yep.
Remember, when you're at the bar, just reach for the glass in the middle. If I end up making a ton and they turn out well, there's a bear I know that might be getting one maybe. Oh, yeah. Hey, I showed him the Motivex carving last week, didn't I?
No.
I didn't?
Because I think we got it this week.
I think we got it last week.
No.
Well, can you grab it out of there?
on drugs.
I thought we did. Let's see here.
Don't anyone look.
Israeli Gomez, Bear, will a Fortress air compressor from Harbor Freight be able to run a brad nailer? Oh, jeez. Almost any air compressor can run a brad nailer, really. It doesn't take much. Let's see here.
I would just like to clarify. Oh, hey, what did I just almost step on?
Can you tell me which chain is good for pulling cars and pickups out of the snow? Dude, I'll be honest, it's been so long since I've lived in the snow, but I will say this. I wouldn't go with a chain. I would go with a strap. The toe straps are much safer than chains. And they're lighter and easier to carry around. And, Motivex, the guys. So we weren't sponsored. They didn't pay me or send me free tools, but after we did the live stream where they were a guest and they were showing off their tools, they were nice enough to send me this, which you can't really see. There we go. Yeah. This is, they did have a laser cutter in-house, laser cutter engraver.
This says, shut up, Moto. That's right.
Anyway, look at how, that's a thick piece of plywood there. This is
really
nice.
pretty.
And of course says, well, let's see here. There we go. Motivex tools on the back.
Yep.
Anyway, this is great. Thank you so much, guys.
We really love it, and I'm claiming it as mine.
I wonder where the kids get it.
Mine.
Richard says, my buddy won 2 $5,000 prizes in 1 year from Home Depot for calling the survey on the receipt. Yes. Holy cow.
So I always tell people to do that, and they look at me like I have 4 heads. But yes, you should definitely, every place you go to, there's a thing saying, hey, please tell us how we're doing.
I know you're supposed to do that, but good grief. All right, almost caught up. Richard Wolffe, the new Senko 21 gauge nailer blows the 18 gauge out of the water. It's a micro pinner with a head half the size holes. Wow, really? Let's see here. Yankee Cantrell, thoughts on my theory. In 10 years, I think China will own engine manufacturing. They're already producing good quality four-stroke. I have little doubt of that. What's up?
The Bellhound would like to come out.
She can come out and say hi. And when at the bar, I always ask for 2 fingers, the top 2.
Nice.
Quick suggestion, equipment to start YouTube channel videos. A decent cell phone. And I use, for this, I use a good quality webcam. I have the top of the line Logitech. It's like $90. And I've got a blue Snowball Death Star microphone. So it's just a USB microphone. It's $50. Don't spend a bunch of money, because most people watch watch videos on their phones. So they can only see decent quality. Unless you're doing a channel where you're like reviewing high-end video equipment, you don't need high-end video equipment to produce YouTube videos.
Or like up-close photography or something.
Yeah. Spectrofiber. Richard says Spectrofiber makes a tow rope that rates 12 tons. Yeah, Spectrofiber makes some really good stuff.
Skinny Day says, greetings from Thailand. No Harbor Freight here.
Oh, I want to go to Thailand.
I do. Me too.
Fred Hill says, I got 2 3 amp hour batteries, or Bauer batteries. I opened one, so I'll return the other 3 amp hour battery. When do you think the 5 and 9 amp, when will they come out? I would say spring. Whether it's going to be early or late spring, I don't know, but it's going to be spring. Warhawk, hey man, how's it going? Marriage 101, your wife sees it, she wants it, it's hers, not yours. Well, yeah, the fight I put up is only, it's ceremonial. It's one of those things. Yeah,
theatrical.
Yeah, it's because it's not as fun for her if I don't fight her for it, and then she feels like she won it. I knew I was going to lose it all along. Richard says, I knew a guy that fell off a 32-foot extension ladder, didn't hurt himself. Granted, he was only on the first step.
Nice.
That's great. Oh. DR Falcon says he uses a $50 handheld camera. The other one I use when I really need some portable high-res is I use one of these GoPro session cameras. They're really easy. You press one button, it starts recording. It's waterproof. It's got a microphone on the front, microphone on the back. It's great. And it's stupid easy to use. Hold on. We got somebody who wants to say hi.
Lost her mind. She put the dog on a leash.
Take her off the take her off the leash. She's going to demolish the
Pardon
whole...
our insanity, but
Pick that up, please. Come here. Come on. Say hi. Oh.
Look,
right here. Right here. Look right there.
But she's like, yeah, whatever. Oh, you know what you could do? A piece of pumpkin bread.
Oh.
She'd pay attention.
Yeah, she would. She's already a fat hound now.
It's over there.
All right. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. I promised everyone that when I called up, they would hear the story about YouTube and money and why we're not getting paid.
Right.
Okay, so I'm telling you this because there's 2 parts of this that's people I feel outside of, I don't often talk about personal finances, but I also do believe that if you don't talk about issues in life, then people don't know that there's issues in life, and you never really realize what's going on. So the issue is that the state of California has levied a garnishment against me for what they're calling back taxes. They're saying I owe, I think it's like $8,000 or more in back taxes for unfiled taxes for the last few years. Now, if you've been watching this channel, you may have noticed something. We don't live in California. But California doesn't agree with us, and they feel that we do. And they sent notices to an address at a house that we sold, 4 years ago? And, or was it 3 or 4 years ago? And we, of course, didn't get them because that house is, not only did we sell the house, the people who bought it sold the house, People who
Those
bought that
people
sold the
sold the
house. And it's been flipped so many times because that's what California real estate does. And I'm like, we're not
there.
We're not there. You couldn't have given us notice. Anyway, so I was really upset about this. Going, why does California think that we live in California? Why are they doing this? And I mentioned it to her, and she's got a friend who's in the military, and they were stationed in California for what, 4 months?
Yeah, they were only there for a couple months.
And California's been trying to bill them for taxes for years, apparently. Haven't gone as far, but they don't have any income in California. Whereas this income is through, through YouTube. So not only do they tag YouTube, but they tagged Amazon also, because Amazon has locations in in California. Because I'm a bookseller also, self-published author, and so they've dinged that one as well. It's just insane that California has just decided, nope, we think you live here, and if you want to fight it, you can come back here and try and fight it. We would have to go to Sacramento. We're going to have to go to Sacramento or hire a lawyer. Which, you think about this, it's going to cost more than the taxes to fight this if we hire a lawyer. Luckily, I fought California before. But here's the thing. So here's the two parts of this. So Amazon gets the notice. We just got the notification from Amazon because they sent it over. They sent it to the wrong address, but it got forwarded because they sent it to our old... Anyway, that doesn't matter. But we got that. And we still have not gotten the notification from YouTube. YouTube's required by law to, within 10 days, send us notification. A copy of the notification they got. They not only have not done that, they're refusing to do it, saying, well, you can call the California Tax Board. I'm like, yes, I can. And I have. But the point is, you're required by law to do this. They don't care. The law in California states also that they can only garnish 25%. Or 40 times the minimum wage. 30 times? I thought it was 40 times. 30 times the minimum wage. They're doing that. They're garnishing that. But they're keeping the rest. Because they say there's a levy and that they're not allowed to pay us. Which it clearly doesn't say that. I talked to the tax board. They said, no, that's not what it says. But YouTube has decided that, yes, that is what it said. And we're going to keep that. And we're not going to pay it to you until you pay off everything. And we're not going to pay you interest on it. And we're going to collect the interest on it. That's fabulous. So the two takeaways here is that it took YouTube 21 days of me harassing them pretty much daily to admit that there was an issue. Now, why they couldn't just pull up my account and say, oh, look, here's the issue. That's what you need to do. Why they couldn't follow the law. I mean, they're following the law. They say that they have to follow to withhold the payment, but they're not following the law about the other factors involved in this, because they can selectively do that because they have more lawyers than probably the state of California. But Amazon had no problem doing the right thing on this. They're a fairly large company. I think they might actually be bigger than Google. I think they might be bigger than everyone. Anyway.
Yeah, a number of people are saying that we should write our congressman, and that they did that in a similar situation. A number of people are also saying that they live in different states and California is doing the same thing to them. So it's super fun.
So now I'm going to go back and go through the comments here and see what we got to say. Nick Hoffman for the Emperor.
Yep.
Let's see here. Richard says, new Lamelo Invis magnetic bolts for construction. Amazing products. Now you can pop new posts and bounce off with as many times as needed. Enter. I'll have to look into that. Natural Recycling says he uses a Canon D80. That's a little overkill unless you're doing some high-res kind of stuff.
Hang on, I'll look it up.
Ken
not yet.
Bentalk just subscribed. Welcome to the den.
Cool.
Yankee Cantrell says China makes a high-quality 4-stroke motorcycle, 4-stroke generators. They've gotten better every year. not so long before Husk China. Yeah. Well, it's easy when you reverse engineer everything. And, that's just the way they do business, so. Mike said, I finally pulled the trigger and bought the Admiral Miter saw. The salesman said it's their best seller now that it comes with a blade. I already got the you'll put your eye out. Let's see here. Mike Adams says hi to Bella Hound. Have you considered getting sonar? Not yet. Nick said I bought the Pittsburgh Pro 21-ounce framing hammer converted into a war hammer. Oh, that would be cool. Have you seen, Nick, did you see the guys who made a bearded axe out of the Harbor Freight Fireman axe? Corey Suttle subscribed. What are your thoughts on sonar? I think it works excellent in subs and probably in Lotus Esprits. And let's see if you get that reference. Which hand stapler for heavy-duty staples do you recommend? I should ask you because I've been looking for a good one and I haven't found one. I heard California is doing what's happening to you to full-time RVers that's no longer living in California. Fred, I've heard the same thing. Which is funny because when we moved out, we were full-time RVers. Yeah. I wonder if perhaps they track that somehow. Do you think YouTube will harass your channel? Well, they kind of... Well, there's background I'm going to tell you about the YouTube, but about California harassing. Rich says, I'm a legal grower and general contractor. The IRS is always... Yeah, yes. It's all in its easiest way. Richard says he used to live in Vallejo, now in Seattle. I don't blame you for getting out. What do you think about sonar? What sonar? Is Quinn and DeWalt the same? No. And Ronald says, got to see what the CARP is doing to the truck drivers of California. They're making them destroy perfectly good equipment. Oh yeah, the regulations that they're doing to the truck drivers. I've heard about that, and apparently it's insane what they're doing. Impeach YouTube. The T35 stapler was the best made, if you can find one. Yep. Speaking of Admiral, I've been using Admiral saw blades as the source of metal until I get it up and running. Oh, there you go. Fred Hill, VA, Yay! Finally paid me 2 months. That is
Good
great.
job.
I knew you were dealing with them.
Yay!
And I am so happy that you got that resolved. So here's the backstory. This is why I think actually what's happening is I think there's somebody at the California Tax Board who has it in for me personally. Now, I've told this story in other live streams, but some of you may not have heard it. And that was, so I used to run a tech company in Silicon Valley. We were a multi-million-dollar company. All right, we were averaging between $5 and $10 million a year in revenue, and we had as many as 65 employees at one time. And so you have to pay payroll tax every time. So we've been seeing over payroll tax. One day, the office manager comes to me and says, "Hey, we got a check from the tax board for $24,000 and a letter." And I'm like, "Well, that's weird because we pay them, they don't pay us." And Chuck and Gillis Ryobi is trash except for extremely light DIY use. But Chaka, what do you think about Hart? Anyway, so they sent us this check. It says you overpaid your employee payroll taxes, and here's your refund. And I called them up, and I'm like, no, we didn't. They said, yes, you did. Our records say you did. I said, well, your records are screwed up. We're going to send this back to you, and you guys need to keep it. Nope, if you send it back to us, we'll just send it to you again. And I'm like, and I went round and round with them for a week. And finally, what we decided was we contacted our lawyer. We set up an escrow account in their name, with their name as the escrowee, and sent a certified letter saying, we don't agree with your findings. We believe that our numbers are correct. We've taken this money that you're refusing to accept, and we're put it in this account. Here's all the information. Take it whenever you like. We're not going to touch it. And 2.5 years go by, and I get another letter from not the IRS, from the California Franchise Tax Board saying, you're in default on back payroll taxes, and you owe us close to $60,000 due to the back taxes, fines, and interest.
Yep.
To which I tell them, you've lost your mind. We go round and round with them. They say that they're going to have do a full audit. They're going to threaten. They literally threatened that they were going to do all this stuff if we didn't pay up. I said, talk to our attorneys, and I stuck our attorneys on them. And the attorneys went to war, and I'm like, because we clearly had this covered. It's a slam dunk case. We paid them. They sent the money back. We tried to give it back to them. They wouldn't take it. Had fully documented. No way to get around this. They refused. Ended up getting ready to go to court. My lawyer says, if you take this to court, you'll win. But it's going to take 2 years and cost you close to $100,000. Because their costs to them are, they've already got these lawyers on staff. This is their job to go after this money. They've offered to settle, basically pay half of what they're asking for penalties, and giving them the money that's already in the bank account. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. But anyway, by the end of it, we settled, paid them, and then paid our lawyers. Guess how much it came out to be? Almost $60,000. They knew this. They knew going in that for us to fight their claim would cost as much as paying them. Mm-hmm. And because it's not a cost to them, because they're not a company. They don't have to, there's no, as taxpayers, we don't get direct oversight. They can do whatever they want. And what they're doing is doing this kind of stuff. But I think they were so pissed that we fought them that they then came after me personally, because the following year I got audited personally and told, wait for it, my 3 children are not mine.
Yep.
And they went, I said, well, here's their birth. I faxed them birth certificates. They said birth certificates don't count. Just because you gave birth to them doesn't mean you actually pay for them. I'm like, it's funny. They don't give me a receipt at the end of the year. There's no W-2 form or whatever for children.
Yep.
How do I prove this? You need to prove, we're going to, basically, they said, here's the deal. It was 17,000. I thought it was 21,000. If you pay us $21,000, this will all go away. We'll settle right now. And I'm like, no, they're my kids. And I've done a lot of contract law and stuff. I'm not a lawyer, but as I jokingly say, I play one at work. Because the reason is I deal with a lot of law, or at least I used to. And I went toe-to-toe with these guys and told them, here's the deal. I'm not going to hire a lawyer. I'm going to represent myself. I'm going to ask for a jury trial. And the first thing I'm going to do is walk in with my 3 kids and bring them all up and have them testify. And I'm going to embarrass you in front of the jury, in front of your boss. And then you're going to explain to him why you wasted all this time to get a case thrown out. Because there's not a judge that's going to see 3 kids, have them say they live with me all the time, I pay for everything, and allow this to proceed, much less a jury. And they, and at the last minute, the day, they said, no, we don't care. The day before trial, I got dressed, I got everything laid out, getting ready to go to sleep so I can get up first thing in the morning because I have to drive down to, I think it was in Bakersfield. Or no, it was in Fresno. I had to drive down to Fresno for this. And I get a notice saying, or an email saying, we've remanded this to moderation. Mediation. Mediator took 2 weeks going over it and said, this is ridiculous, it's dismissed. And apparently...
And literally, that was it. That was so anticlimactic when it finally got resolved. It was like, okay.
Yeah. And then the third thing was when we tried to get financing the last time, they said that we hadn't filed our state tax records in 3 years. Now, luckily, we had copies of them. They'd been filed through H&R Block, and we went, here they are, and we've got all the copies and everything else, and we had to go and get those stamped and everything else. It's like the state of California is... Now, they may be doing this to millions of people. They probably are, but it sure feels like they're coming after us personally.
Yep.
All right, enough about that. So now you understand the background. Understand what's going on with YouTube. It's going to get resolved at some point once we get this all cleared up.
Yes, it will. It's just a huge
pain in the backside.
In the backside.
Richard Wolffe says, best chop saw stand ever made was the American Designs and Engineering, then became Saw Helper. The Ultrafence 88.
Daughter Fry, I agree. Shaka, we missed you. Welcome back.
Hey. Wahawk says, Catch-22, you don't live in California, so those politicians don't need you. Please, you Nevada politicians don't care about They don't. I can't write my congressman here because he has no pull in California.
Yep.
So, and California's like, well, you don't live here, so we can do this. We can reach out, get your funds, and you have to come here or spend a stupid amount of money to pay somebody else to do it.
So Lewis has posted about this chair or something a couple times, like 6:52.
Please read my post at 6:52. Hold on, Lewis.
It says, have you done a review on the adjustable roller stool? The weld broke on mine. Fell flat on my back. I weigh 165, only used it a few times. Could have been seriously hurt.
I haven't done a video on that particularly, but I've said never buy it. Ever. Everyone I know who's had it has had it break, had the weld pop on it, had it just fold, crumple.
I thought
Terrible.
I thought that was the one that rolled under the car.
No, it's the one, it's about this high, it's round, it's got the little metal tray on the bottom.
Okay.
It's terrible.
Okay.
That's the one you're talking about, the red one. I think it's red and black. Would you recommend the Ryobi Crown staple? Yeah, all the electric staplers from Ryobi, every one I've ever played around with or used has been fantastic. I don't own any, but I'm envious of the people who do. Once again, the quality of any tool is dictated by the quality of the person using it. I don't know.
Yep.
Charles says, my brother wants to buy a power drill. What type of drill do you recommend? What's he going to use it for?
Yep.
If he's gonna be a pro, I'd get a Milwaukee or a Makita. If he's a prosumer level DIYer, I would say a Bauer or Cobalt. And if he's a home gamer, I would say, I hate to say this, Jaka, but there's, as far as inexpensive ones, I would say like a Ryobi or maybe even the new Hearts. They're made by the same people who make TTI, and the lower ones, when they start going on sale, they're going to probably be pretty cheap. Richard says, quality of any tool is dictated by the user and relevant maintenance. Never seen a bad tool, only ignorant users. Thank you. That is so true.
Yep.
Let's see here. We're not taxpayers, we're tax slaves, cattle, nothing. Yeah, if you don't believe that you're a tax slave, try to find a state where you can live in without property tax. Where you can just buy the land and that's it. Let me know how that works out for you. Yeah. Try to find a country where you can do that. I've looked into it.
Lewis says that California garnished him $1,000 for someone else's parking tickets from another person with the same name. Yep.
Oh.
We also had issues with that. You've already told that story.
So I had a fast pass where I could go across the bridge and it would ding. They gave the same number to somebody else, billed me twice for 2 years. I didn't notice it because we were making a good amount of money and it was only a little bit here and there, but over 2 years it added up. If you don't pay something in California, they have automated processes to reach out and take your money. But if they owe you money, it's a brick wall, no phone numbers. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. I eventually got that one cleared up because I am a stubborn, tenacious...
Billy Goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime the government says they can help, remember what they did to the gas can. Or how about Kent State?
But that was not California.
No, but I mean the government. We're here to help us to your money.
Joe Smith says, at Carl, sonar like submarine use, or is it a tool brand? I don't know if we figured that one out yet.
Which Bauer blower is better, the compact blower or the jet fan blower? The bigger blowers. If you're blowing leaves and stuff, like big stuff, the big blower is going to be better. I've used the little blower to blow leaves, and you have to get much closer. It's much better as a shop. That's what they call it, a job site shop blower. It's for dusting things. Can I help you?
She knows the pumpkin bread's over there.
Oh, can you smell it? Can you? Huh? Want to say hi again? Come
Can
here.
I say hi? Oh, you want to get in mine? Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
She's like,
Hi.
you said the pumpkin.
Did I say pumpkin bread?
Our
Oh
dog
my
is
goodness.
addicted to pumpkin bread. It's the only thing she's ever got up on the counter and actually stolen.
What do you see? It's over there.
She hasn't done it for years because I told her I would chop her up and use her in the next batch.
She's like, what?
She's looking at me like, you said pumpkin bread. That's all I heard. Good evening from Delco, Pennsylvania. How about the 3-drawer rolling seat? I go $340. Grizz? I don't know. I haven't heard much. I've heard tons about the other one, and I've seen pictures, and I've played around with one. I've not looked at that little box seat. How long till the Vulcan 205 comes out? I thought it was already out, to be honest. If Cali went away, Americans would starve to death. They pay for the red state food stamps. Yeah, I don't think they do. I don't think they would starve to death. It's, you gotta remember also 1 in 5 people live in California. So if California went away, back off, a lot of people who take national funding and all that kind of stuff would go away as well. And the only reason California makes any money is because of Silicon Valley. They are literally the one profit center for California that's actually bringing in positive income. What pneumatic impact wrench would you recommend? I don't use them a lot, and I'm not a big Air Tools fan. All I can do is pass along what I've heard from other people, and lots of people say that for prosumer and low tier professional use, the earthquake stuff is great. I have one earthquake air impact, and it seems perfectly fine to me. I know Sunix makes some great stuff. Carlisle has some good stuff. What? You're chomping at the bit over there. What is it?
I'm giggling. Uncle Toy, you are hilarious. Says, at the Denatiro, sorry I'm late, but I'm here. And wow, what happened to your face? It always looks like this.
Always. Let's see here. Can California go away? Well, there's this fault line thing. They did a whole movie on it. It was a Superman movie, but I think it was a good idea.
I love California. I just don't love the government.
Yeah. Let's see here. I don't know if I saw this, but Bob said, good evening from Delco, Pennsylvania. Joe Smith says, Alaska doesn't have property tax, does it, or is it income tax? I think they do have property tax. There's several states that don't have income tax. Nevada is one of them. Dear Falcon, how do the batteries on the Bauer stuff hold up to cold weather? That's a good question. I don't know. They're decent level cells that are in them. They all buy they're not no-name cells. They're either LG or the less expensive Samsung. I don't remember. But they're not like super cheap cells like some of the other battery stuff I play around with. And it doesn't get cold enough here really for me to comment on that from personal use. Richard says the DeWalt 20-volt heat gun is garbage. It barely blows. No pun. Save your money. The air compressor is worth $89 all day. Thank you for the input. I appreciate it. I always love getting the input because, as I said, there's no way for me to try everything. And then even if when I do try something, all I can tell you is my personal experience and opinions on it, which are nothing compared to collecting the vast amount of resources that you guys have that you can add to it. Let's see here.
I'm going to go check on children.
Feed me human, Bella hungry.
She is.
And let's see here.
You're going to go inside?
Lewis says the box seat is safe. There you go, Grizz. Dale says, I always say if you think you own anything, just try not paying your taxes. Any tax you hope, we bears are going to be okay. I was worried about you. Yeah, it really is just a kerfuffle. The fact that they couldn't tell me for 3 weeks that they got a notice. I mean, it's not like it's in their system and it's like, oh, I mean, any computer payment system, there's no, they're like, well, we had to research it. How much research does that take? Anyway. Yeah, and I always tell that to the kids. The kids, as you're educating them with the stuff, and they're like, well, that's not right. We should be able to do something. I'm like, well, we can't. They're like, well, why not? I said, because they have more guns than we do. Government is, it's violence. It is one group of people saying that we're going to make another group of people do something. And if you don't agree with us, we will have people with guns come and tell you otherwise. Anybody who says that violence never solved anything has never been in a real disagreement. I'm not advocating violence, by the way. I'm just stating how the world works. Yankee Cantrell, I work in Canada half the year, but reside in Tennessee. Sales tax is only 9.25% and no state income tax. The only states that produces 3 to 4 times the electricity, so cheap. Oh, wow. Fred Hill says, sounds like the Bauer Jet Fan is the best all-around blower. It's, I would say, because you can blow out your shop, and you can blow leaves and other stuff with it. You can try and do that with the other one. I've done it, but it's not as efficient. So, and if you really want to get crafty, you could get make a PVC nozzle on the jet blower and reduce it down so you could use it as a, job site fan as well. Terry says, sorry I'm late, but Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Terry. Steve says, Tool has a song basically asks California to fall in the ocean along with telling everyone there to learn to swim and seeing them in Arizona Bay. Falcon says, I asked because I keep them in my shed with no insulation. Oh, you should never keep lithium-ion batteries someplace that gets cold. Any lithium-ion battery can get actually killed by cold. Bauer 4-volt cordless screwdriver worth buying. I like it, but there are other ones that are less expensive. I would go on Amazon and find there's some that have the same features, and I would probably go with those. The things I don't like about it is it doesn't have a torque setting, and some of the other ones use a USB style charger rather than a dedicated style charger. So if you lose that charger, you're just out of luck. Charles says, when you buy tools from Harbor Freight, do you always get the extended service plan? No, I don't. I think about how I'm going to use the tool. If it's a tool I'm going to use and abuse, I get the service plan. If it's a tool I'm getting for occasional use, I don't get the service plan. Remember, service plans are basically you gambling that this tool is going to break. So if I already know I'm planning to break it, what you doing over there? Get away from my pumpkin bread. So I know I'm planning to break it, then I would get the service plan. Richard says the small DeWalt 20-volt fan is pointless. I bought it just because the only nice thing is it will take 110. Also, haven't found a use for it yet. Are you talking about that job site fan, the one that's like this big? I have the Bauer version of that. It's not super effective, but it's one of those things that will get air moving if you're in a stagnant air kind of environment. Probably not bad for a soldering station. Charles says, I already read that one. Fred says, I live in Colorado and I have the new Bauer cordless tools. I'll test and let you know. Awesome.
Cool. Thank you.
Nick says, to all whom look, does metal make good Christmas music? No. No, it does not.
Well, depends on the demographics.
No.
No.
The Ozarks is like living in Kentucky. Everyone is related. Your mom is your sister too.
Ouch.
Not surprised. Yankee Cantrell, tax the cars you buy, then they tax you to drive them on the roads. You're taxed to build, to work, they tax you labor. They tax, everything. And then where does the money go? Well, it usually goes to, funds that they somehow then control. People are like, we need to audit, what's his name's, Trump's records. I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't vote for Trump, okay? I'm not trying to get into politics, but you have these politicians across the board, left and right, who've been there for 20, 30 years, who started, as bartenders, and now are millionaires as a politician. That's the people's tax records I want to see. Where's that money coming from?
Get off the soapbox.
My friend Andrea loves your beard and the Mrs.'s reindeer. Thank you so much. And let's see here. Violence doesn't solve anything, but it does often settle things. That's true.
Yep.
Wallace says, 1/4-inch drivers, which one's better, the Hercules or the Bauer? Hercules is better. The Bauer is less expensive, and there's more tools for that line. So if you were just a DIYer, I think that the Bauer will be fine for you. Emily says, Escape from L.A. is my favorite California breaking off movie. That is, I forget that one. That is a good one. Let's see here. Get a refurb Herc miter saw, Tool Hacker says, for $140 a few dings and scratches. He got a refurb one. Oh, that's cool. That's a great price on a Herc miter saw. Richard Wolffe says, to keep batteries warm, plant seedling map, $20, inverter cord. That's a great idea. That is a really good idea. I'm going to have to try that and see how well that works. Yes.
No,
Oh.
right, you're not there yet.
I'm always there. Joe Smith just needs more fun. Nice. Good Jeff says, I got a DeWalt 780 miter saw for $350, but I'm just a DIYer planning to do some base and crown molding around the house. Is this saw overkill for me? Yes, it frankly is. It's a great saw, but it is overkill. Lonnie says, is Quinn and Cobalt the same socket? That's a possibility. I'm not too sure, but they look really close. And Bear1 says, if you need a laugh, look up Valhalla.
I think it's Valhalla.
Valhalla.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Oh.
Kind of Christmas medley song.
Interesting.
And Yankee Cantrell says, when I was in the USMC, we used violence to solve everything. Violent can openers, violent showers. Heck, we even ran violently just to show the ground who's boss.
That's right.
There you go. Let's see here. Now, since we got a break here, I'm going to tag some of this.
You should show them the pretty before
Sorry.
you cut it.
She gets all miffy if I cut into it for her.
Yes. I will.
Todd Gray just subscribed.
Thank you. What are you doing to that?
I'm trying to get it out. I need to cut it on something.
There's a knife.
No, I was like looking for like a cutting board or something.
No, you just cut it in there.
That's wrong.
Obviously, he doesn't know what he's doing.
That's wrong.
Why are you taking... He likes to take the first piece from the center
Yes,
of
I
the
do.
pumpkin bread.
Yes, I do. And I'm unapologetic about it.
Yeah.
Do you want a piece?
Yes.
You want the end piece or the center?
The center's fine.
Oh, hypocrite says what?
I like the end piece, but then it makes it all dry if you just eat one end.
No, you don't. Oh, yes, it does. That's true. I thought you were saying if you take it from the center.
Oh, no. Sonic said he wasn't notified of the stream. We had some streaming issues. when we
YouTube's doing
started.
something weird.
YouTube's having a moment.
Would you like butter on your bread?
I would. I thought you could show them the slice, though.
She's been making the pumpkin bread. That's why she's so adamant about the sharing of the... Oops, there we go.
Yep. It's yummy.
It's lopsided. It's weird. You never know how how it's...
Just like people, the pumpkin bread comes in all different shapes and sizes, and everyone's valid.
I'm sure it tastes just the same.
Delicious.
And delicious.
That's right. So, it's really, really yummy. And it's not keto.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
It's Christmas keto.
Yeah. This is the Christmas of... We're trying to make good choices and not go completely crazy and eat an entire loaf all by yourself. But it's the time of year, especially with everything going on. It's a little stressful. So pumpkin bread is definitely happening.
And we have it.
And we
have the ingredients, so...
Yep. And I like to make it. So...
Yeah, we have a policy when it comes to finances, and that comes from running your own businesses for years. Because people who work for a company, and I'm not trying to disparage anybody, but when you're an employee, it feels like money just comes from this magical place, the paycheck. And the paycheck always shows up. Well, what? But you would be surprised how many companies every year miss payrolls. And it happens all the time. And usually they catch up, and eventually, but it can be some time. We were working one time, and we were working with Atari. And they decided not to pay us $96,000. And then when we said we were going to sue them, they went out of business. So there have been several times during my career and running businesses and stuff where payroll has, for me, because we never, management, employees always get paid first. That's always our policy. Mm-hmm. Management, we may not get paid. So our personal policy is if a payroll stream dries up, you put all spending on hold because you don't know how long it's going to be to get resolved. And that's just, common Midwest good sense. You don't go out and be like, oh, everything's going to be great. I'm sure it's going to pick back up. It most likely will, but you don't take that gamble when you have a family relying on you. So anyway, let's see here.
Donna Ross said, the den of tools made our son mad. Took my old cell phone away and put him to bed. Oh no. I'm sorry we made him mad. What did you do while I was gone?
It was you leaving that made him mad.
Oh. What's up, Al? Did you come to get pumpkin bread?
No.
Mm-hmm. She must have figured out we were having pumpkin bread.
Are you watching the stream in there?
No. I was going to.
Mm-hmm.
Yankee Cantrell said that we should eat the bread violently.
Violently, just to show it who's boss.
Yes.
Here you go, princess.
Thank you.
There's butter there. If you
I
want.
agree. Nothing is as good as fresh bread. Although with the pumpkin bread, we have noticed that letting it sort of
Age.
age.
You have to let it. You're really supposed to let it sit for 2 to 3 days to let the flavors, the spices all mingle. And when you bake it, it dries out. And when you let it sit, the warmth pulls that moisture back in. And that's how you get that gooey top and everything. It's really good.
It's really good.
Sorry for did YouTube pay you guys yet? No, we had a whole chat on that. I'm not going to go back into it. It's going to get resolved. We found out why. It only took them 3 weeks to tell us why. Bear One says, how does one contact you, Mr. Bear? You can email me at red@denoftools.com. Just leave the part out and put red in front of the @ sign, and then that's how you get to us. Let's see here. Let's see here. You missed me before, but no biggie, but no hating on DeWalt. DeWalt makes some really great tools, and I often said they do, but it's all their higher tier kind of stuff. Their lower tier stuff is just not great. David Anders says, pumpkin bread for sale. Yeah, we did offer to sale. Some people emailed us, said they were interested, but we never heard back when we talked about it. If you want some, we are doing, was it 2 loaves for
it's a
$20
donation
with shipping.
Yeah.
Don't donate through super chats because it won't come to us and they'll take 30%. But if you do it through the Streamlabs link or you email me, you can send us a
I thought it was pinned somewhere.
in the video description, there's a link. But just email me, red@denoftools.com, and we'll figure it out if you're interested.
And there is plain pumpkin bread like we're having tonight, or there is like little chocolate chips.
Chocolate crusted
on the top. Yep.
Assault the bread, conquer its home, plant your flag. That's how we beat the commies. That's true. That's true. Magical green bread. Oh, I wonder if you could turn it green. Probably
There's
too
food
dark.
coloring in it.
Hmm.
Yes, PJ Kentucky, the pumpkin bread is amazing.
There's no calories in the Den of Tools.
I'm embracing that.
Fred Hill says, I heard AOC is part of YouTube. I would not be surprised. Streamlabs is back.
What?
Richard, sorry about that. I turned the Streamlabs moderator off and it keeps turning itself back on. Mike says, California geographically is beautiful. Every time I pass through Donner's Pass, to and from Sack of Miners, Grizzly Adams and the theme song to the show hits my... It is absolutely gorgeous. From the beach, to the mountains, to the desert, even the Central Valley. The Gold Rush area, just absolutely gorgeous. But the government and some of the people, mainly the ones who live in the cities, are pain in the backside.
They're just different.
No, they're beyond different. They're half a step from showing the Khmer Rouge how it's really done. How much sawdust do you put in the bread? Because I know regular white bread, they actually do put sawdust in for health reasons. Maybe that's the part we're missing.
No, we're not missing anything.
And Donna Ross said no, she put her son to bed.
Aww. Well, it's late there for him. And somebody I thought did a super chat, but I don't see it on here.
I think someone subscribed. Richard says, I transitioned from $55 an hour as a master carpenter to $128 an hour average after getting my license and bond. Now there's no company taking 60% for a referral. Yeah.
Yep.
It's amazing, isn't it? Problem is, it's all on you. That's what I keep telling people. When you run your own company, you have to take charge. There's no one who tells you every day, this is what you have to go do. You're the person who has to figure that out. And I've been doing it for so long that it's hard for me not to. I don't think... I mean, I don't know. I'd like to say that I could work a regular job, but I'd probably tell somebody off. Because once you've been the captain for long enough, it's hard to be a first mate. Because you're like, this is the way it needs to get done, and you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Every time you twist in the chair, the screen flashes.
Somebody else mentioned that they thought it was just Gramoot, that they didn't notice that. So, Gramoot's either super, super observant, which is totally possible, or hallucinating, also totally possible. What?
So we have a loose plug.
No, he just suggested that.
No, I know, but I don't know why. Is it still doing that?
Oh my gosh. RBX 177. Christmas baubles are huge when cast on the 55-inch. I can just imagine. Yes, our daughter did get camera time, but she was out here sneaking to get pumpkin bread because that girl can sense sweets in another county.
She's part elf.
Yeah. Yankee Cantrell said, imagine being deployed in a combat zone during a government shutdown and not being paid while still having to run combat operations. That would be awesome. And I know that you were by far not the first and will not be the last. And thank you.
That is so wrong.
Yep.
Chris says, any good word on the larger shop press at Harbor Freight? I've not used it, but I don't know anybody who's used any of the shop presses at Harbor Freight and not had a good experience with them. If you have, I'd love to hear it. Now, definitely, when you talk about any of the central machinery kind of stuff and stuff like the shop presses, quite often there's a lot of stuff that needs to get fine-tuned because that's the old Harbor Freight kind of methodology. But for the price, you're not going to come close to it. Just dropped in to say happy holidays. Oh, Jennifer White Wolf's in the house.
Hey, how's Indy?
I'll be here only a short time as I'm taking Indy to the same 24-hour emergency vet to save her life, getting the staples out.
Okay, that is super cool to watch, unless you have a weak stomach. But
needle nose, it works just fine.
Yeah, basically, they just have this little thing that looks really odd, and it just
it's
crimps
like this.
The staple.
It goes under like that, and then this comes down, and it causes the little pieces to come out.
Open up. I had a bowel resection like a million years ago, and was horrified to discover that they didn't use sutures. They used staples to close everything up. So I was like, oh my goodness. And then when I had to go in and have them taken out, I was like, is this going to hurt? And she just laughed at me.
Here's something cool. You may not know this. You can buy... I probably shouldn't touch the table. It's probably making people screen flash. You can buy your own medical stapler and put it in an emergency kit. So if you're on a job site or, say, at a range or something and there's a massive injury that you need to treat, that you could staple it on site. It would suck, but it's better than, like, bleeding out and having stuff spill out and whatnot. So, just a thought. And we're really big into the whole DIY medical kind of stuff. I've had some emergency trauma level training. She's had other kinds of medical training. I'm also a doctor from Dad University.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. He is... Yeah.
Dr. Dad in the house.
There have definitely been a couple injuries that the kids had where I'm like, I think we might need to take that in. You're like, it'll be okay. And now, I'm better. I pretty much think that you can solve most things with Neosporin, some crazy glue, super glue, and a Band-Aid. Yep. Oh, and a butterflies thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Speaking of which, there is I can't remember the name of the channel, but there's a guy, he's Indian with a British accent.
Oh, yes. He is hilarious.
He is a doctor.
Yep.
He's a cardiologist. Now, a lot of doctors think they have a sense of humor, and they don't. This guy does. He's freaking hilarious. And he did a video about doing medical stuff on a plane. And apparently it's like 4 times it's happened to him where he's been on a flight and somebody has said, "Is there a doctor on board?" And last time there was actually 2 doctors, and the other one was a brain surgeon, which was not exactly overly helpful for the situation.
But it was nice to have another physician.
But he was sitting there, we're talking about the patient, and the other doctor says something like, "Is it complicated?" And he says, "Well, it's not brain surgery." He's like, "Yes, I really said that because, come on, how often are you going to have that opportunity? Just that perfect setup right there. You got to do it." And I'm totally down with that. You can strike while the iron is hot.
Advanced GM LLC says, "I can see it now. The new Harbor Freight medical stapler on sale now."
Oh, that would be awesome. I would love that.
Yes.
They should have a whole... I'm going to write my contact an email tomorrow. He's going to lose his mind.
Say, "You know what we need?" And they're going to be like,
Speaking of medical stuff, if you haven't seen the movie The Dawn Wall, you need to watch it. It's about rock climbing. And I've kind of gotten recently... I watched Free Solo. If you haven't seen that, that's amazing. 2 hours or an hour and a half of you sitting on the edge of your seat like, is he going to die? And... but anyway, The Dawn Wall... The guy is an amazing rock climber, one of the best in the world. Working on fixing up his cabin, does a stupid thing with a table saw, takes this finger right here, clean off.
Yep.
And in climbing, your index finger is a huge thing because you do this double lock kind of thing. I actually, believe it or not, when I was svelte and in my early 20s, I did a bunch of rock climbing. And I cannot even imagine climbing without an index finger. That's ridiculous. And he climbed...
I'm just saying, I can't imagine life without my index finger for anything.
Dude climbed without an index finger, climbed El Capitan. The Dawn Wall of El Capitan. It's insane. Unkva says, "We beat the commies by spending more money than them." That was part of it. That was part of it. We also did it more efficiently, too.
Our Captain Jinglebeard.
Our Captain. He'd be captain now.
Yeah, sorry. I just...
Of the good
table.
ship, the Jolly Roger.
Oh, my goodness. Yep.
I noticed that rigid batteries are decently priced. Do you know if they're junk or not? They're not junk. They're not top line. They are solid middle-of-the-road batteries. Don't lean on the table.
You're not the boss of me.
Are you trying to make their screen flicker? Are you? Are you?
Oh, my gosh. Delusional.
How does DeWalt separate upper tier from lower tier? How do we know which one is the good stuff? How do we say it?
You eat more pumpkin bread.
Well, being brushless is typically the upper tier stuff. But basically, any tool that isn't an entry-level tool at DeWalt is, because if they sell multiple tiers of tools, don't ever buy the lowest tier from DeWalt, because that is really consumer-grade stuff disguised as professional-grade. Problem is, my biggest issue with DeWalt is the batteries. They are so expensive for what you get that I would go with almost any other company. And if you ever do need warranty service, they have a pretty poor track record when it comes to customer service for that. Space Pen update. No Space Pen update. I need to get one of those. Zucchini bread. I am not a fan of zucchini bread.
I am a fan, but I haven't made it recently. My next adventure...
You eat Brussels sprouts, let's be honest.
Yeah. I'm just saying I haven't made zucchini
Your
bread.
next adventure, you were saying.
My next adventure in the kitchen will be to make candied orange peels.
Ooh, that looks good. And lemon. You're going to do candied lemon peel, right?
I love how he's telling me what I'm going to do. No. We have oranges, so I'm going to do...
You said something about it.
Well, I want to do the lemon ones too, but we don't have any lemons right now.
That's not wild turkey.
We're on a budget.
That's what happens when I send women to the store to buy me bourbon. We got this. It was on sale. Anyway, somebody asked how the Labradog's doing. She's doing amazing. She is getting a little thick because she's been eating a lot of really... What?
Your story about sending women to the store. I'm about to light him on fire, daughter of Ra.
Richard says, I don't understand people asking for tool references when they don't even fully understand what they want or need to begin with. Well, it's kind of a catch-22. And I have trained, not just with tools, but in a lot of realms, enough entry-level people to understand that there's this point where you don't know what you don't know. And so you have this vague idea about what you want to do, but you don't know what the questions are that you need to ask to figure it out for yourself, to figure out what you really do need. So that's where channels like ours come in. Wahawk says, add fruits and nuts, pumpkin bread, fruit cake. It's Christmas.
California cake.
No.
Wait, what?
Fruits and nuts for pumpkin fruit cake. No. No.
Okay, no. Well, maybe we could just try it.
Grimute said to Jennifer Whitewolf, the XR line is a good one. Yeah, the XR line, anything with XR means it's brushless. So if you get anything in the XR line, you're probably doing okay. And I would say anything that's in the FlexVolt line as well. So where was I? Hold on.
I don't know. Was
Hold,
I supposed
please.
to be listening?
Wow, I got way behind here.
Yes, you did.
Let me catch up here. Scott says, I really have time to drop in on the live stream, but just wanted to thank you for your videos. I have saved money and learned about tools, especially Harbor Freight tools, and you're part of it. Thank you so much, Scott. Hope you're still around. I know I got way behind. We do have a tendency to ramble. Daughter Russ says, yeah, Steve was supposed to be buying pumpkin bread. Buying pumpkin bread? Oh, you mean from us? Well, no. You should be sending pumpkin bread to all of our mods.
Yes. Well, I have some of your addresses, but I don't think I have all of them.
No, that's true.
So, send me your address.
Zaphiel says, look, good evening to you. What sort of horrible accident happened to you? I got mugged by elves.
Looking festive.
I was walking at 2-something in the morning going to Subway, and these elves came up and made racist comments to me and then put these on me. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Let's see here. Past the Spider says, I finally got one of those big fat batteries. Now my Black & Decker Matrix can rock and roll all night long. There you go. Richard says, one thing I did not think of, how do I bid jobs while looking for materials and supplies while trying to stay on schedule, and you only get one job for every 3 to 5 bids? That is always the challenge, is doing bids. And the good thing is, once you get to a high enough level, you can actually get paid to bid on jobs, to do estimates, because you're going to actually provide a full report to them about, this is how much it's going to cost, these are the materials I'm going to use, this is how many man hours it's going to take. Because we got to a point with my company that people were like, well, we want an estimate on this. I'm like, okay, well, we charge this much to do estimates based on what we thought how big the project was and how long it would take to estimate it. And they're like, well, we're not going to pay for that. And I'm like, okay, well, then you hire somebody else. Because we're going to do a full report, and you're actually going to get a deliverable from that. So maybe that's a way to work that in, and then offer that price is refundable if you take the job. But I don't know what your level of industry, what that's like. There may be a case where you can't do that. So he needs some bells for his beard. Oh, jeez.
That's just what you need.
Yeah.
You'll be like that annoying neighborhood cat. Somebody get the bell off the cat.
Bob says he's owned his landscape company for 7 years. I don't think I could go back and work for somebody else. It's
different.
Yeah. Donna Ross says, I'm at a helpful 31 subs.
That's right.
And Richard says, I'm not if you're not sure what tool to buy, start at the pawn shop, find one you like, then buy new with warranty. That's not a bad idea. You know what? Something I've forgotten to do. We're a ways into 7:39, and I feel really bad. We haven't said thank you to our moderators. Usually we try to take a break every so often. Usually somebody reminds me when I've rambled on too long. But we're going to take a moment here to say thank you so much to all the moderators. Everyone you see there with their names in blue, it has a little cobalt blue wrench next to their name. They volunteer to help out with this. They answer questions that we don't get to. They provide comments and suggestions for people who maybe make inappropriate comments, reminding them that we are a family-friendly channel. They also been friendly enough to ask people to please use Streamlabs link for donations. That way it comes directly to us rather than going through YouTube and getting held in that big basket of all the other money that YouTube has of ours. And, they do so much around here, and many of them are creators of their own right. And I would ask that you go over and you check out one of their channels. Just pick one moderator at random and go and find their channel and watch one of the videos. Maybe even consider subscribing it. Maybe even ring that bell over there. Maybe find something you really like. I know they all like, creating stuff. Well, most of them are. Some of them don't. Daughter of Raw doesn't have any content, but she does have 31 subscribers. We are trying to make her the most subscribed to channel with 0 content here on YouTube. As we like to say, she is the best non-content in all of YouTube.
That's right.
Anyway, thank you so much. I also want to say thank you to everyone who's donated with the Super Chat. As you can see, there it is. Our little glass. Hey. Let's see here.
You're going to measure it?
No, I'm trying to see if I can get it to the same. There it is.
Okay.
I can't get the spatial reference down.
Down.
Stop.
You stop.
There
You're
we
not
go.
the boss of me.
You want some?
No.
She hates the smell of this stuff.
Yes, it smells horrible.
She's like a cat. So if you do this.
Yeah. Daughter of Ra, I'm going to get out the blowtorch and he's going to light up like a Christmas tree with all those little baubles on. It'll be great. Yep.
Rich and I'm on fire again.
Then I'm going to go find the fire extinguisher, and then we're going to have a chat about which kind of fire extinguisher you need for which kind of fire, like when you light your husband on fire. Family channel, don't do that. As you were...
As it was.
Talking about moderators, I also wanted to just remind folks, we reminded people around Thanksgiving that the holidays are a hard time for folks, and that's okay. Some of us have family that is close by and we get to see them all the time and the relationship is great, or sometimes it's not great, or sometimes you're just really far away. So if you find yourself in a place where you just need to reach out or talk to somebody, we are here. Please don't ever feel like you are alone, or that you don't have an outlet to talk to somebody. Obviously, it would be private. It's not something we would, shout out your name or whatever. No. But we just want to make sure that it's the holiday season and that you reach out. We are all a family together. So I just wanted to say that.
Kishro Kuramikella just subscribed. Thank you. Welcome to the den. You. I want to add to what she said real quick, and not trying to be a downer here, but this is, as she said, it's an important time of the year. If there's somebody who has recently lost somebody, this can be a really hard time of the year for them. But the other thing is, it can also be really hard for them to talk about it, and they may not be ready or want to talk about it. So the best thing you can do is just at some point inform them, hey, no pressure. I just want you to know that if you need to talk to somebody, I'm here for you. I'm not going to push on you or anything. Just wanted to put that out there. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. Reach out to me anytime you want. We have some people that we know in our lives who lost a young son, 10 years old. He was 10 or was he 11?
It's 11.
This year to a tragic accident. We've talked about it before. I'm not going to go into it. And they recently posted about how they appreciate people reaching out to them and everyone trying to be nice and stuff, but it's almost a burden onto them to feel your need to help them. Yeah. And there's there's nothing. Like, people ask us, what do you want us to do? And there's like, nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You can just show up and be there.
And I felt bad because I felt like I should have done more than I've done. But the way I felt was I can't fix what's wrong for them. And I feel like I would just be a burden on them. And apparently that's the way they were feeling. And I did tell them, like, hey, no pressure, but, I'm always here. Feel free to reach out. And I've talked to them about other things, and they know we're here for them. And it's a delicate balance, there.
And I think also when you reach out to somebody, don't take it personally, whatever they decide. If they decide they want to come and hang out with you or spend time with you for the holidays, great. And if they don't, it's okay. There are a lot of people who internalize it and don't want to talk about whatever's going on. And that's okay too.
All right. So enough of
Yes.
that. Let's
Carry
pick
on.
things back up.
Pumpkin bread.
Donna Rot, you want pumpkin bread?
Yes.
She's like, yeah, say, Donna Rot. Well, here, you read Donna Rot's comments.
Don't forget the electric tape and the duct tape in the kit.
She's talking about a medical kit. We're
Oh,
talking about.
yes. That's true.
Yeah, I fixed a lot of stuff with electrical tape, believe it or not.
I would also say in a bar of soap. Not a medical kit, but like in your car kit. Because if you get a hole in something, you can use the bar of soap to plug the hole until you get somewhere else. You are making a racket over there.
Keep reading. You got a job to do.
Super glue for emergency instead of stitches. That's true. Because a lot of times that's what they do.
That's what
My
it was
buddy
meant for.
had a spinal headache. Oh. Where they put the spinal fluid back in too fast. He couldn't describe the pain. The doc said it's the most pain any human can experience. Ouch. Yes. Ladies who have spinal blocks done when we have babies, there is an awful headache that often accompanies that.
I can't even think about that.
Yeah. Matt R., thank you so much for donating $5 through Super Chat. I will see if I can see your message now so that I don't mess up where we are in our chats. I work at a hospital. A nurse's moto phone went off the other day, and I immediately said to myself, "Shut up, Moto." Thanks for all that you do, Bears.
That's awesome.
I'm so glad that mental goes off in your head because sometimes ours is out loud.
Yeah.
And we're like, what? Sorry, it was our phone.
Oh, you're not part of our live stream. This
Yep.
isn't a live stream. We're at the restaurant. Never mind.
Yep. So I am so sorry that your friend had such a terrible headache, but it's true.
Terry's going to sleep. Good night, Terry.
Good night, Terry.
Have a good one.
Ronald says, I'm a trained medic for years, and I still keep up on the super glue is what we're always used to putting people back together when out in the field. And it's true. I can't read. Yankee Cantrell says, just need a tourniquet, quick clot, compression bandage, and duct tape. Fixes 90% of things 100% of the time. That's right.
And Sonny Chris commented also, quick clot and a cat, TQ are a must. Mm-hmm. I will say this. So I do follow, being a firearms instructor, or not active right now, but in the past, that I have followed a lot of the trends in emergency medicine for gunshot wounds and stuff like that. And there is a trend to move away from quick clot, and that they feel that now with modern medicine and stuff, that just compression may be better, and compression and getting somebody to an emergency room, because quick clot is a chemical cauterizer. It can actually end up causing really nasty damage, more damage than the wound itself. So if you're out in the middle of nowhere, and that could be something you might want to use, but that is I need to stop this bleeding, and I'm not going to get to medical services anytime in the next day, or anytime soon. So just remember that, because quick clot can do a lot of damage. Mm-hmm. Bob says, I've watched a trainer staple a gas shut in the sidelines of a soccer match. Yes. Not soccer. I've seen it at a football game. And Donna Ross says, remember, if you want to donate, do so via Streamlabs. So there's the link we were talking about. Thank you very much, Donna Ross.
Thank you.
Richard says, there's literally a YouTube channel for every single tool torture test you can imagine. Check there before making any decisions. You know, a lot of people will say, well, torture testing isn't useful. And I don't feel that that's true. It's not what you're going to see in everyday use, but it can give you a comparison between multiple brands as to the construction, build quality, and the methodology behind those, giving you an idea of what you're actually getting into. Wohawk says, I can stitch better than most MDs. LOL, no lie, leatherwork, merit badge, Not a chance. Plus, sewing all my own patches since I joined Boy Scouts. Plus, Mom taught me to quilt by hand. Here's the funny thing. In 7th grade, we had to take electives classes, and me and my buddy thought we were super clever because elective was the first period of the day. So we chose home ec because, A, we're like, they teach you to cook, so we're going to make food, and we'll have breakfast in home ec. And B, everyone else in the class is a girl. And we were entirely right. And side benefit was they taught us how to sew and to use the sewing machine, and I'm actually now pretty handy with the sewing machine. Let's see here. David says, don't forget duct tape and crazy glue. Always dry it up when needed. Yeah. If you ever open it, you need to replace it.
Put the pin in it.
Yeah. Don't ever buy like the big bottles of crazy glue because by the time, unless you're working in an industrial application where you're using it multiple times a day, every day, just buy they make multi-packs like the small tubes. Buy that.
Yep. You can get that at the dollar store. Multi-packs.
Multi-pack.
Multi-pass. Sorry, we're a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They probably already noticed that.
Matt R says, his jingle bells are ringing.
Yep, I saw that.
Just watched the combo video. Tough choices. Wish I had the extra dough from the Makita or Metabo. Cotton balls and electrical tape. Ken Jeong, the actor, is still a certified doctor. Yes, he is. And he does a video every so often where he answers medical questions. The USMC says all injuries can be cured by a quick 3-mile run.
That is true.
Walk it off. You'll be fine. Yeah. Take two, take 2 Tylenol and walk it off. Have you seen the new Midway movie? No, Nick, I haven't. I've been wanting to see it, but, we just had so much going on around here. We have not done that. Yeah. I'm thinking of mounting a sheet of metal backboard and funneling it down in a 21-inch floor dust collector attachment to the back of the miter saw. I think it'll work. That might work. I have thought about doing like a collapsible one using PVC and canvas so I could fold it flat when not in use and then have it extend out to catch the dust, go down to a dust collector. You could do the same thing with sheet metal, but it'd be a little bit harder to do you'd have to get some kind of piano hinge in there and whatnot. Yes.
Anthony says that pumpkin bread made me raid the Christmas cookies my wife and mother-in-law baked for 3 days.
Oh!
Yes, I leave the house or reside in my shop. Whew. Sorry about that. I kind of want to know what kind of cookies they were now. Okay, that was my finger.
Where? Oh, right here?
Yes.
We should put it there.
Well, squishy McSquisher.
Here, I'll put this up.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Matt R. said, I asked last week about finding air leaks. I can't afford the thermal camera. Is the temp gun from Harbor Freight good enough? Yes, it is good enough. I have one. I'm a huge fan of those guns. Just remember, and this is actually more useful for you, is that it comes out as a cone. Everyone thinks it's the laser. The laser is just to see where the center where you're pointing is. But it's a cone that comes out from the front of it, and at 10 feet away, that cone's going to be like that big. It's going to be like 3 feet wide. So you can sweep an area, and you should be able to see significant temperature differentiation from something like that.
I'm trying to remember, what was the leak for?
Insulating his house.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Sorry, I was envisioning like a tire, and I'm like, why are we not just submerging it?
Trent Roberto says, you should take up rock climbing. I used to, and I gave all my rock climbing gear away years ago. When you tear your MCL, it makes it difficult to do some of those reaches.
Is Trent, are you the one that also does the, not abseil, what do you call it? Where you're on the with sail with the
Kite surfing?
the board, yes. Words are not my friend tonight.
Wow.
Very much not articulate.
Michael Chesney is in the house. Evening, boss. Just here for a little bit. Mike, Colorado Springs. How's it going, man? And let's see here. Advanced GM says brushless is good, brushed is bad. Okay. I like brushless. But I like it specifically in tools like routers, grinders, sanders, polishers, anything that has a long runtime where you're just going to sit there and wear at it. Things that have short burst application, drills, impacts, and whatchamacallit, like recip saws, stuff like that, you're not going to see as big an improvement as far as battery life and stuff like that because you're just not taxing it in the same way. So and you're also going to give up some longevity by going with brushless as far as maintenance on your own, like because you can replace brushes, you can open up a brushed tool and do work inside of it. With a brushless tool, it's a computer system and a really techie motor, and you're not going to do anything to that. There's a reason why companies like Hilti don't use a lot of brushless tools because you can't maintain them easily.
I don't know where we are in our chats, but the Shaggy Rifleman just said, tuning on to the stream for the first time. Just walked out of my job.
Oh
Did
my
you
gosh!
leave your job, or like you just got off work and you walked out?
Yeah, I hope he just walked out.
Yeah,
in a good way.
Yeah.
All right, where was I? Am I that far? I am that far behind. Okay, speed catch-up time. People confuse NiCad rule of drain all the way with lithium ion. You should never drain all the way to recharge. Yeah, you shouldn't drain it past 35% with lithium ion, and good batteries won't let you do that. Dread Pirate Jinglebeard. Michael says, had a follow-up question on your tool parts vid. On the last list of the parts, they offer replacement battery pack inserts, aka new cell packs? No, they don't. But you can rebuild those fairly easily, or go to like Batteries Plus and they'll do that. Let's see here. Do you like Terry's chocolate oranges? No, I don't. I'm not a big fan of chocolate and orange.
That's because he's broken.
Yep. Dan says, I had to drop off to call the wife. Did you guys dig into the space pen? No, we've talked about the space pen before, but we haven't done any kind of like deep dive into it. Yep. Brussels sprouts are the devil, Warhawk says.
No.
Fight the power, my man.
No.
Communists eat Brussels sprouts. Fred says, I turned 62 December 6th. Happy birthday, my man.
Happy birthday.
I've been medically retired for over 7 years. Retired June 2012. 100% VA, disabled, Social Security disability, and federal service. Well, man, I hope they take better care of you than they have in the past. Jennifer says, lithium ion never drain. They're supposed to. In fact, a good lithium ion battery will auto drain.
I'd give you the drink so you wouldn't choke, but it's my drink.
DeWalt always holds up their warranty. I've had several warranty items. All you do is call them. Brad, I hear you, but that's your experience. I read reports like from Better Business Bureau and a lot of other agencies that do research on this, and they have a 1.2 satisfaction rating out of 5. Raw has the blowtorch ready.
Yep.
Scott Barger says, what's your take on the quiet air compressors? I got a 2-gallon Cobalt for less than the small of the Harbor Freight, but wouldn't mind a bigger capacity. Can you recommend one? I wouldn't get... The Fortress from Harbor Freight is good, but I don't think it is significantly better than the Cobalt 20-some gallon one that is about $100 less expensive. So I would go with the Cobalt. Now, as far as the 2-gallon and the 4-gallon, the 6-gallon, I think the Fortress ones are excellent. I've got the 2-gallon one, and it rocks.
Daughter of Ra, you got backup. I've got like a blowtorch and a baseball bat. We're good.
Richard says, if you get to know your local DeWalt dealer, they do so many things for free without me even asking every time I bring the tool in for maintenance. Yeah, that's a really, like, this works for me. They call it your mileage may vary kind of stuff. You can't say that, well, you're giving out someone's advice. Say, get to know that dealer. Because lots of dealers are like, I don't care. Jennifer says, bacon and Brussels sprouts. Jennifer, you're going to get voted off the
That's right.
island.
Jennifer, it's amazing. You're so correct.
Dear Falcon says rutabagas.
I haven't done it.
Howie wants to know if they make a doghouse big enough to hold the bear. Yeah, I might be spending all night
It's called
in
the outdoors.
Yeah. Charles says, have you used Harbor Freight's new Thunderbolt Edge batteries? No, but I've got some in-house, and we're going to be doing some testing in toys. I hope the kids aren't watching this. They're not. Yankee Cantrell says, my mother said, never trust women. Trust me, she knows she's one of them. My mother said that too, and she was right. About her. Carson's Exploring Channel just came back from riding in the desert. It was awesome. About 1.5 hours from Vegas. Oh, were you at the dunes? Was it not Altamont? It starts with a D. Dumont? Anyway.
I don't know.
That's called the Dunning-Kruger effect, the unskilled or unaware. Yes, Scott, you are right. Russ says you have hers. Client Graphics in the house. Have a great night. Rest of the live stream. Make sure you hit the thumbs up for the bear before you go. Thank you so much, sir. By the way, go over and check his video. He did one recently where he's talking about stress testing, where he did Capri, Tecton, Harbor Freight, Snap-on, 1/4-inch flex head ratchets. I can tell you Snap-on came in last.
You just spoiled it. For everyone.
Yeah, but now they're all going to go watch it because they want to see Snap-on come in last. Don't forget SSA converted to regular SSA at 62. Really? Joe Smith says yes, mods need pumpkin bread.
Yes. Hey, Joe Smith has some pumpkin bread. Did you eat it already?
Yes. Richard Wolffe says, do not use a flexible battery on a non-XR Max tool. It will melt. I know it did on that one Impact. Does it do it on all of them? Probably not a good idea to do it, though. Let's see here. Nick
Home
says,
handyman, yes, I am going to shank the bear. Carry on. Don't be scared.
yeah. Hallelujah. No, Nick says. Scott says, you ramble. I teach college and I'm famous for my tangents during lectures for like 15 minutes. Who, me? If you don't have a mod's address, send their bread to Joe Smith and Joe Smith will try to get it to them. That is so kind of you. See what a great heart he has to do that? Mm-hmm. All this bread talk, I keep drooling. By the way, if you didn't see it, if you go over to denoftools.com, our website, one of my latest posts is the actual recipe we use for making pumpkin bread. This is when I took the recipe that my grandparents taught me when I was a wee cub, and I have expanded upon it. I've done all sorts of experiments. This is the perfect pumpkin bread. You'll never find better pumpkin bread than this. But the key at the end is to let it rest for at least a day or two. Oh,
Give it a good buck.
Thank goodness I made it. This is the last Sunday before my birthday. Uh-oh.
What?
Uh-oh. Happy birthday.
Whose birthday?
Novus Nick.
Aww.
And let's see here. Toe Cutter. Do you know if Harbor Freight will be coming out with a 4-ton long reach floor jack? I don't know. I mean, they've got a 4-ton jack out now. Long reach. I don't know if I call it a long reach. It's not specifically called a long reach. Let's see here. Oh, Client Graphics says, I do have content on my channel. He does. He has some excellent content.
Yep.
Gramina says, my channel sucks, but we should all check it out just the same.
Shut up, Moto.
Shut up, Moto.
Twice.
And Warhawk says, we all love Dada Raw. She does. She has some great
awesome.
non-videos where she doesn't talk about anything.
She's amazing.
Donna Russ says, Mrs. Bear, I really don't want to file that homeowner's renter's claim tomorrow. Let's see here. Thank you, miners. Please. Yeah, hey, guys, by the way, you should not type in all caps and also don't spam emojis. Not Harbor Freight. YouTube has a policy about it, and they've banned people's accounts.
Like,
just
deleted
wiped them out. for doing that in Super Chats. I don't have a problem with it. It's a YouTube thing, and I just don't want you guys to lose your account.
And there isn't anything that we can do to speak up for people if that happens.
And let's see. Rich Restoration says, you are both so great.
Oh, thank
both
you.
of me. That was so nice of him.
You and your delusions.
Oh, Dollar Ross says her mother is struggling as she lost her mom back in July.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm so sorry. It's really, really hard.
Jennifer says, I have one video on YouTube. My collie, Gladdy, nursing puppies. It's not monetized, but it is sweet. Everyone take a look, please. Indy is Gladdy's older sister. Oh, that's cool. I will have to check that out. Let's see here. Fire bad. Quote from Frankenstein. Yes. Let's see here. Richard says DeWalt told him not to use flex volts on their standard line. Well, there you go. There you have it. That sounds fairly definitive to me. David Anders says, Merry Christmas to Mr. and Mrs. Bear family. Palm Tree, love the content. Never watch the live shows typically, but this show is great. Well, we're glad you could make it. I'll be honest, we don't normally look this festive, but we do love Christmas. It is one of our favorite times of the year. Mm-hmm. I was trying to think. I was going to recommend Christmas shows. So we've talked about Claus on Netflix. It's an animated one. It's fabulous. Noel on Disney Live is
Disney
great.
Plus, whatever.
For Disney Plus, brought here to tears. Of course, Elf is a classic. Die Hard's a great Christmas movie. Mm-hmm. What was the other one we just watched? The one with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. That one with Kurt Russell in it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Netflix one.
He's Santa, and at the end, Mrs. Claus is Goldie Hawn, which I love Goldie Hawn.
We're thrilled that they're still together after all these years.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you look up Kurt Russell as Santa Claus, I'm sure you'll find the movie. Those are just some great new Christmas movies for you.
I think it's the Christmas Chronicles.
Christmas Chronicles. There you go.
That's what it is. Yeah. That guy's always handsome and ageless.
Just like me.
That's right.
Daughter Raw, always. Mm-hmm. And let's see here.
Zaphiel says, bar of soap to plug a hole. Yeah.
Bear One says, what do you think is a fair price for a handmade fixed blade knife with about 4 inches of blade? Depending, there's so many variations.
What
like a basic one, $20, and a really nice one, $100 to $100 or $200. One that is just like phenomenal. It's like, it's got a Damascus blade and hand carved horn handles. You're talking $500,000 there. Bear One, I only buy Ken Onion blades. I have Ken Onion blades.
We're like 20-some minutes behind.
I don't know where I usually keep it in the car. The one reason I use it is the one I have. It looks like a chef's knife, and it's about the length of this one that we've been using. It's a little bit longer than this one, and but it's got this big sweeping hollow bevel grind on it. I bought 3 of them. She stole 2 of them, I think.
I don't know what he's talking about. I think he's...
The definitive version of Carol Bells is by Metallica. I think definitive may be the word I might not use there. You can also get combat trauma dressings on eBay cheap, but in a pinch, and Super Absorb MaxiPad Plus duct tape also work. That is true. Yep. And tampons are great for plugging holes. Mm-hmm. Michael says, boss, I need to sign out. Work in the morning. Bye. Enjoy the holidays. Mike and CS. Thank you, Mike. You have a good one. Take care as always. Pass the spider. Aye, Mutty Pass.
Yep.
That's a Fifth Element reference in case you missed it. Best battery-powered framing nail gun. The only one I really have experience with is the nail guns from Ryobi as far as battery-powered. And I've tried the one from Works, but they're all lower tier. They're not framing guns. So I don't know. Maybe somebody can chime in with that. Fred says, I lost my mother age 82 September 10th. Mom lived a long and fruitful life, and we know she's in a better place. She was sick for many years. I know our family feels better now. I'm really sorry to hear that, but I do understand where you're coming from with that. Home Handyman says, I did a video on CA glue, and they're not all made the same, nor are they equal in strength. I used to think that, it's just a basic chemical composition. It's got to be pretty easy. But no, he's right. There are some cheap ones out there. When she says from the dollar store, it's actually Crazy Glue brand.
Yep. Daughter of Raw laughed at you for saying tampons.
Wohawk says, gotta love Lilu and her multipass.
Yep.
Joshua says, what do you think about Milwaukee 169 tool set, 2 batteries, charger, bag? I think you mean $169 tool set. What do you think about the tool deal? That's the brushed one. It's a great set. It's a great beginner. If you're looking to get into Milwaukee and you just want to get started, it's a great entry level homeowner DIY kind of set. And even like a low tier professional grade. Those tools will last a good long time. Zaffy says, you're doing it right when the doctor asks you what doctor applied your dressing. Yeah.
Yep.
I gotta tell the story. So we're at a kid's birthday party and with our friends, and the dad of the kid that we're there visiting is a surgeon for a major hospital in California. His dad is the head of surgery for all of California. And they're barbecuing, and he cuts himself, the younger of the two, cuts himself pretty badly. And they're like, we're going to have to find, does anybody have any Band-Aids or something? And we're looking at this, and I'm like, I have a whole medical kit if you need it. And he's like, yeah, because no one there has batteries. So I go to my truck, and I've got a Tier 3 medical response emergency kit, trauma kit. And it's the kind where it's like rolled up, you unbuckle it, you lay the whole thing out. And these two guys, he's got compression on his, because he cut himself like right here, right there. And he's got pressure on it. And he and his dad, both of these surgeons, they unroll this kit and their eyes are like, ooh, toys. And they start going through it. They're like, this thing is great. And they're pulling stuff out. And I like this. This is really good. Have you tried one of these? Like, no, I've been meaning to try this. And I'm like, you're bleeding. Maybe fix it? Yeah. Anyway, they were tickled. And they asked where we got it. And actually, I got it at a gun show. And so he was like, well, maybe I'm going to have to go check out some of these gun shows. Let's see here. Scott says, got to give you love for Fifth Element reference. Oh, I'm big Fifth Element fans. You probably, if you watch my videos enough, you will hear the ever-present Aziz Light. Mm-hmm. I say that to the kids all the time. All right, let's see here. Oh, G. Warren says, good night all. You have a great holiday season. Thank you very much, sir. Ronald Smith says, there's an app for your phone to read infrared. Really? Mrs. Mayor, I need protection from these men.
I know. I told you. I got a blowtorch and a baseball bat. We're good.
Zaffiel says, never give up. Never surrender.
That's right.
Any thoughts on Gear Wrench tools? I think they make some great tools. They're probably the guys who set the stage for this whole tool truck alternative, tools from Taiwan kind of thing. They kind of broke that path and opened it up for everyone else. Now you got Tecton, Capri, Carlisle, Icon. You got Ingersoll Rand is going to be dropping their brand this next year, probably January of this year. You've got Wera Tools getting into it, Boxio, just so many alternatives coming out because they set the stage that people can do this. Makita has the best impact driver. I think they got a great one. Think of brushless like 3-phase. It is kind of like tiny 3-phase, isn't it? Richard Wolf says, I never mind swapping brushes every 3 to 5 years. Never an issue. The brushless motors have nothing to replace except the motor and the controller and basically the tool. It's different when you're talking about like an induction motor on something. But when an induction motor goes bad, do you rebuild the motor or just toss that motor and get a new one? I mean, how many people out there winding motors?
I have to go check on the littles.
This is the part where you tell me you wind your own motors. Go on. I wind her up all the time. Bob says, good night all, and thanks for all the info. No worries, man. Thanks for joining us tonight. Let's see here. Just ordered the 12-volt Bosch multi-tool. Any opinion on them? Love the impact. I think Bosch makes some great tools. I think sometimes they're a little overpriced. I know their batteries are a little bit on the steep side. But, you know, talking about a company that was fully embraced, they're right up there with Hilti and all the other big companies. They don't try to market to the consumer nearly as much because they have such huge commercial industrial contracts. And that's why on them often you'll see they have still on their high-end tools, they have the little door there you can take off with, you know, a flathead or a quarter or something, so you can get right to the brush, pop the brush out, put another brush in, and get back to work. Trolling for dollars says howdy from Phoenix. BKD70 says, I've been using lithium polymer batteries for many years. For the best life, don't run them down below 20%. And don't store them long-term or fully charged, discharged to roughly 50% state of charge. Yep, and good ones, as I said before, I'm looking for my lithium polymer over there. It's too far to reach for. Anyway, if they puff up, toss them. The brush sprouts say, da comrade. Dustin Anderson, love the channel Harbor Freight. It's awesome to see reviews so I know what to buy and what to stay away from. Thank you very much, sir. You know, we'll get into that in a minute. What do you think about the impeachment in Washington, D.C.? I think it's a waste of tax dollars. They've been looking for something. I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for the Democrats. So I'm not in this fight on one side or the other. But I think that they've gotten into... I think it's exactly the same thing that the Republicans did to Clinton. I mean, now Clinton obviously did break the law. So technically you could impeach him. But I mean... I didn't see how it adversely affected the country directly. I mean, you can argue about Clinton. I'm not trying to get into that. But as far as impeachable offenses, I thought it was pretty petty. And that they'd been gunning for him the entire time. They did the same thing here with Trump, and it's just politics. And the only difference I see here is the media just backing it 120% and totally ignoring anything. I've been getting issues where I've posted stuff on Facebook, and Facebook blocks the post, puts that little screen thing over it saying, this has been declared to be fake news. I'm like, it's an opinion. You can't declare an opinion news. But they do. So, and to me, that is censorship because I know you're going to say, well, Facebook's a private company. In this case, they're a state actor because they've been told by Congress that they have to do this. So Congress has said, do this for us. They're doing it. That's the definition of a state actor. That makes it the same as if the state directly was censoring you. And this is defined case law. There's not really a question about it. Homely says, going to bed. You've been great hanging out. Glad you could join us. Hope to see you again next week. Anyone use the Grizzly 20-volt tools, good or bad? I've not used them. I know somebody who is playing around with them. He's not impressed. I found the company that makes them. I'm not impressed with them. And I've seen copies of those. They're just, there's different levels of tools where, like, when you go to China or you go to somebody else, the lowest tier is somebody has it sitting on a shelf. You go, I want to buy that, put my name on it, and put it in my own box. Can you do that? That's a tier 1. Tier 2 is, I like that. I want you to do some modifications. I want to put my own internals in it, designed like this, but still use the shell and everything else in my own box. Can you do that? That's level 2. Level 3 is, that's great. Throw that away. I want you to build this. We fully designed it. Here's the blueprints. Can you build that? That's level 3. Did I get that wrong? 1, 2, and 3? The Grizzly stuff is a level 1. They found something sitting on a shelf. Had them, can you do it in this color with our brand on it? Sure can. That's it. That's all they did. Now, I talked to them about this. They tried to claim it was a level 2. I asked for the specs and everything. I saw it, and they're like, well, we determined that it has to have this chuck, and it has to have this motor and everything else. I said, well, I talked to the factory, and I know that's an option they offer. So you didn't modify it. You just chose the higher tier that they already offer. So, and then they wouldn't return my calls after that. Imagine that. So, anyway, I would avoid the Grizzly stuff, which is saying something because I am a Grizzly fan. I will tell you, I love their table saws. Their band saws are the best for the dollar, bar none. They have some amazing tools. Their metal lathes, I want one. I do. I want one, but that's not in my budget anytime soon. Anyway, okay, I've ranted on Grizzly enough. Carson says, no, 45 minutes out from Barstow. Oh, wow. And he was off-roading out in the desert. That previous conversation. BKD says, try not to store lithium batteries fully charged. Little USB adapters work wonders for discharging the storage level. Oh, that's a good idea. Michael Wells is in the house. How's it going from Atlanta? And let's see here. Mike says, I've been replacing my double bulb fluorescent lights with the Harbor Freight 4-foot LED lights in my shop. Now I'm back in the 80s. I swear my sunglasses
Excuse me.
I wear my sunglasses at night. They are bright. You going to bed?
Yeah.
Oh, come here. I love you, precious.
Bye, guys.
You should have Tim the Toolman on your show. The Vikings won tonight. Well, when you're a Viking, you win every night.
That's right.
Best secret for Brussels sprouts: cut them in half, simmer in chicken stock with no lid to cook till tender. Drain and serve with chopped bacon. The chicken is amazing. Actually, what you do is when you get it to the part where you drain it, you take the whole thing, you throw it in the waste paper basket, and then you just make bacon. What?
You.
No.
I knew that's where you were going. Daughter Ra, I think that sounds amazing and sounds delicious. And don't listen to him because he's broken, obviously.
Scott Behringer says, gotta fly, you are much more fun to listen to than my prep than to prep for my winter term course. And I'm easily just a squirrel.
Yep. Mm-hmm. One of our people.
Take care and happy holidays. Yes, definitely. For adults only, Bad Santa. Who? What?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Bad Santa. That is a great one. I love that movie. I tried to watch Bad Santa 2. Don't watch Bad Santa 2. It is terrible.
It's really bad.
Now, Bad Mom's Christmas is hilarious.
Not child-friendly,
Yes.
but
Hilarious. I like all the good old Christmas cartoon classics. Donna Ross, so do I. I will watch all of those.
Yeah, what was the dog one? It wasn't a Christmas one, but what was the dog one that you had the kids watch? Dog Detective or something?
What are you talking about? Scooby-Doo?
No, the movie you had the kids watch where there was like a dog that morphed into a person.
The Shaggy DA.
Okay.
Dog Detective.
Okay. It's a movie about a person and a dog that... Yeah, okay. And I'm the crazy one.
Yeah. Have you seen The Mandalorian? Nick, I have. In fact, I did the little post about the Yoda with the coffee cup. Have you seen the Yoda or the Baby Yoda remix or music? Was it music or Baby Yoda drops the beats meme? It's hilarious.
Who's having trouble talking now?
Yeah, I know what you mean by tampons, but I can't.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you're on the same level as the rest of us guys, so I don't want to hear about it. Yeah, especially if I have to shake my head.
Walk, sit down, or rock.
Stop shaking the table.
You said tampons.
Ralph Smith, classic Christmas year without a Christmas claus, Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Little Drummer Boy. Oh, Little Drummer Boy. Here comes Santa Claus. Does great stop animation. Oh, yes.
Yes.
I love all of those. And I have to watch them every... Oh, and... The Grinch.
Oh my goodness.
Howie, yes, Georgia was so good in that role. Or George was so good. I must have missed that part. If you love knives, check Ken Onion. I'm a huge Ken Onion fan because I find that most of his knives look identical. But I do like his
one that's like wavy.
Yes.
That one's mine.
Yep. See? If you have like a kit like you keep in the car and stuff for like, hey, we're going to have a picnic or something. That knife is literally like a pocket chef's knife. It's fabulous. The Immature Unite.
That's right.
Oh, I want to see the one. Was it Bad Boys? Not Bad Boys.
I don't know what
One
you're
with the
talking
kids, where the kids are bad. Remember Duncan said he wanted to see it, and we're like, no, you can't watch that. It just came out.
about. I don't know what
Yes.
you're talking about.
Have you tried badger milk? How do you milk the badger without getting clawed in the face?
So walks.
Like,
Like,
who
who
the
the hell
hell
would like?
You need to
Milk
move
a
your knee.
badger.
You need to step back. You're shaking the whole thing.
You are
I
not-
love you.
You're not the boss of me.
Yeah, I am.
I don't know who is.
Someone's got to be that captain.
Somebody's running this ship.
Uh,
Badger milk.
I got to do a video on that.
It says badger milk. Huge probs to the person that has to milk them.
Can you imagine the what do they call that? The workman's comp claims. So how
I
were
was
you hurt?
approaching the badger.
Your company's had 3,000 claims this year. We've come to inspect. Oh, go take a look. Badger milk. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Trying to milk a tiger. I think it might be easier to milk a tiger.
Dear Falcon says, think of the shot, stool, and tiny bucket that would need to milk a badger. I think it means short stool and tiny bucket you would need to... Yeah, you basically just lay down.
Oh my gosh. Home Depot has a line of butcher block tops now too. They do have those. In fact, I've got one sitting right there. I've been planning to make a
bite
desk
you.
with. Wait, right? Yeah. Epoxy isn't food safe to my knowledge. I think they do make a food safe epoxy, but it's stupidly expensive. There's also silicone you can do stuff with like that. Robert says, nice look, Red. Thank you. I bet Joe Smith milked a cat once. You can milk anything with nipples.
Like almonds.
Let's see. Hey guys, don't forget you got to put at the Den of Tools so it shows up in a nice orange blurb
Ooh,
for me.
Goodness.
So that way I know you're talking to me because I'm skipping everything else. That's why if you've commented and I haven't read it, that's why.
Oh, Douglas Cox says, I tune in and find a Johnny Depp pirate Christmas ornament mashup. Trippin' live chat. Merry Christmas. That's right. That's how we roll. See, some people like to bring like this, Facebook kind of like fakeness to the internet.
You get us.
This is what we bring.
All real, all live.
All the time.
Every week.
Okay, here's the funny thing about this. I was doing this the other day, and one of them like flew off and hit one of the kids. So I'm just hoping that it might happen to you tonight.
Nice. That's why you've been doing it.
It is what I'm doing. I'm also doing it, to make people think that they've been drinking too much, maybe.
I'm working on it.
Anyways, but yes.
That's terrible bourbon. What is that? What is it called?
I don't know.
Schlotsky's bourbon or something like that? I've never heard of it. I come home with the bottle. I'm like, you got Jack Daniels. She turns it around, and I'm like, did you buy it at the dollar store? Wait,
No,
did
but
you buy it at the dollar store?
No, but I did look. I didn't buy it at the dollar store, but I did look high and low to see
Oh
if
my God.
perhaps they sold booze at the dollar store.
Richard says baby powder works good for an inside chalk line, leaves nothing behind, and fill your pores on your arms and face before touching insulation. No more itching. Oh, that's an interesting idea.
I was wondering where we were going there for a minute.
Bacon is its own food group. Fact.
That is true.
And she's hurt herself on it a couple times.
Whatever.
That is also
when you're
true.
pregnant, it does not count.
You were not pregnant the first time.
We weren't supposed to say that.
Have you ever tried the Harbor Freight ultrasonic cleaner? I'm looking for an easy way to clean my French horn. Michael, I feel that's a setup. I've not tried the Harbor Freight one. I looked at it and I decided to buy one off of Amazon. It's essentially the same thing. It's the... I use it probably for the same kind of instruments you use it for. Do not buy the one by Hornady. It is way overpriced. It's a pretty color. It looks nice, but it doesn't do... How much have you had to drink tonight? None. Nothing.
This is
That's
my
her
natural...
stone cold sober.
Yeah, see, this is why, I don't drink.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh.
I feel like this lighting makes me look purple tonight.
Mel Brooks did the original idea for Baby Yoda in Spaceballs. I love Spaceballs. I wanna fly in Winnebago.
Oh my gosh.
Any financing yet on the Icon box? I expect that January or February the financing is going to drop. Oh, Ronald Smith has the thing you hate. You're going to shoot your eye out. She hates that movie.
Oh my gosh. I don't hate the movie.
That's what you've told me.
Not my favorite.
Charles. There's always somebody who's got the answer because I've left my brain somewhere. He says the movie I'm talking about was called Good Boys. And I think he is right.
Yes.
Any thoughts on Capri tools? I see lots of them on Amazon. Okay. I have not used Capri tools. I've looked at them. I have talked to people who review them and people who use them, and all I've heard is good things across the board about them. Mike says, I learned from my late father that those diaper pads are very handy in the shop when working on. Yes, they are.
What? I missed that one.
For like spills or putting under something to collect moisture.
Yep. Check pads.
Eric Mann says, hello from NYC.
Hey.
What was it, nice and chilly up in New York? I love New York in the wintertime.
Thanks for being here so late. That was my tummy.
Would you recommend CPU builds from Miles Bennett Dyson? I don't know who that is. If he says LOL, I don't know if there's a joke in there. I don't know what it is. Let's see here.
Douglas Cox says, cleaning your French horn, kind of like milking your badger.
People, please, family-friendly channel.
Oh my gosh,
I
they're
don't
just saying it's just
talk
as
about
difficult.
milking your badger.
It's
I'm
just
just
difficult.
joking.
Wow, Trent. I feel like
William
everyone
says,
is
keep
gonna
on
be
trucking. The
tonight.
Harbor Freight tool guys are watching.
Trent, I feel like we might need to do an intervention. You and llamas.
David says, would removing the LED on a DeWalt impact be beneficial for the driver and battery? I want to rid the whole thing from charging off the battery. No, the LED, it takes so little power. It's not. I don't think you'd see any benefit from that. Wohawk says, bacon makes everything taste better except the commie Brussels sprouts. Nothing makes those better.
Bacon.
You know why? Because it doesn't matter what you put on it. It's still communism.
It's still amazing. The Shaggy Rifleman said, I wanted to clarify about my earlier post, or my earlier comment, I quit my job. I was supposed to transfer to another store, but my boss wants me to stay and refused to do the paperwork.
You don't work for
That is a super bummer.
GameStop, do you?
So
I just asked because there's this huge thing going on with GameStop. They've now enforced a policy that they will fire you immediately with no prior warning if you comment negatively about your experience working at GameStop on social media. And there's one guy, Camelot something or other, who's leading the charge. He's an ex-employee there, and he's just been talking about all the stupid... Apparently, the company's about to go out of business. And he's been talking about it. And I follow businesses kind of thing like a lot of people follow sports teams. And I've been watching GameStop because I figured, much like, Blockbuster, that they were not long for this world. And, man, they are imploding hard. So if you want to watch a tragic mess, look up GameStop/Camelot on YouTube. His name's Camelot like 6753-QQR something or other, but you got to check him out. It is.
that was really helpful.
Where'd I put that knife?
I don't know, but I've got a screwdriver.
Yes. You guys must have some spiked eggnog. No, we're just in love and silly and
high on life.
Yeah. Let's see here. Hold on here. I think I missed some people. Richard says, or Michael, sorry, not Richard. Michael says, it's not a setup. I've been a freelance musician since 1985. Really? You should send me some of your stuff. I'd love to listen to it. Believe it or not, I actually am a fan of... I played trumpet and tuba for years, and I am a huge fan of brass music, anything played with brass. And I would love to hear that. And the French horn, I'm actually a fan of as well. I can't play it worth a darn. I like to drink cough syrup and look at llamas.
I know we need to do an intervention.
More like cough syrup and bourbon. That's where you need to go. Shaggy Refman says, "Oh, that's the one you read, right?" Yeah. And even if I did stay at work that one shift, I would still be out of a job the day after. Would rather quit and get packing done. I understand that.
Yep. And that's actually kind of smart. A lot of times people get so stressed out and wrapped up in a situation. Like they get like tunnel vision, or they can only focus on that one thing. And in this situation, when you know that there isn't a good outcome and they would just fire you the next day or whatever.
Better walk away on your own terms.
Walk away. Enjoy the rest of your night. And find a much better situation for yourself.
Somebody said that I lost the comment, but somebody said that the Harbor Freight's tool washer might be good for the French horn.
The one right underneath it.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
David says, I mull windows at large window manufacturers, and they've recently supplied us all with our own tool bags, trying to figure out how to make my stuff last the longest.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
So it doesn't get legs and run away. What does that mean?
Marcus, good evening. We have multiple Harbor Freight stores in Sacramento. We used to shop Snap-on, but Harbor Freight changed our life. We really enjoy your channel. Thank you so much. That's great.
Okay.
Everything okay?
Tell Duncan to give it back to you.
That boy. You guys must have some spiked eggnog. I wish we had some eggnog.
We do have eggnog.
Oh, do we?
I mean, we don't have any eggnog, and we need it for the pumpkin bread, so don't drink it.
Keep it family with your chin like that.
That's
come on, Bear. He was the inventor of the microprocessor that led to Skynet. Oh, jeez.
Nice.
I remember. I know who you're talking about, but I didn't know what his name was. Chris Gilliam Man Stuff says, to whom it may concern, I use Capri tools, copper tubing cutters, and their welding clamps. All fine. I have more Capri stuff on my wish list, I think. There you go.
Zaffiel? Really? How to Milk Your Badger 3. That's a movie, right?
How to Milk Your Badger 3.
It's an informative movie.
Yeah. Mike's Bennett Dyson's from Terminator 2. He fathered Skynet. Eric says, I had some gear-rich ratchet wrenches fall apart on me. Is this inherent to the design of the brand? I don't know. I do know that they had some issues and were pondering a recall on some stuff. But, that happens. They do have a good warranty system, so it shouldn't be hard to replace them. Let's see here. Todd Ross is totally working on gifts for my son's teacher and bus driver. Oh, that's so nice. Drivers.
That's really nice.
Shaggy Reifman, he worked at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Sounds like you could have a chat with him. She used to work at REI. Yeah. They're a little more, than probably Academy Sports, but... David Brown says, I seat about 3,600 screws in 8 hours each day in gusset plates and mole clips. I think it's got to draw something over time. oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is... Oh, that's a lot.
Whoa, Richard Wolffe. Cool.
Daughter Raw is up to 33 subs now.
Yay!
And Willie comments, Camelot 331. There you go. That's the one you want to look for.
Yep.
I would take Phoenix in the summer than New York City in the winter. Oh. Here's the deal. It's easy to get warmer when you're cold. It is not easy to cool down when everything is hot. I used to spend my summers in Phoenix, and man, it gets hot here in Vegas. It's hotter in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And it gets to 120 here in Vegas. Greetings from Ashland, Tennessee, Matt Joseph says. Big Dog says, bacon is the duct tape of the kitchen.
That's right.
Hello from Arizona. Ride with Chris says, Mike Dawson was Terminator 2 reference. He was, geez, a lot of you guys. You got some hardcore geeks in here. I love it. Speaking of which, Have you guys seen the trailer for the new Ghostbusters? Oh, it looks so good. And Jacob Chambly says, just got here. What'd I miss? Oh, nothing. We've been waiting for you this whole time. He's here. We can start, guys. Welcome to the live stream. How's everyone doing tonight? Anyway, you're about 5 minutes behind of reading live comments. That's why it's not making sense to you. Sorry. I think I'm caught up at this point. Barbecue 76 says, still at work, taking 5, about 2 hours until beer 30.
Yay!
Hope you get there soon. Ish, I know. It's all relative. Richard says, I literally tell customers, this won't take me that long. This won't cost me that much. Here's your new total company hates me, but I'm not in this business to make friends. Yeah, I know that feeling. Dave Bowen, still it's dry heat.
Yeah, I was thinking.
You know, it's a joke, but I've also spent time down in Florida and Georgia, and that's probably the areas where it's been like the most humid. And yeah, I'll take a dry heat over a humid heat every day, every single day.
Daughter of Ra, you don't know about the new Ghostbuster movie? Google it immediately.
You
Look
need
it
to
up
go
on the internet.
Go
There's
watch.
A trailer.
We'll
it's
wait.
Amazing. Yeah. We'll just hold the internets for you. Just go do what you gotta do.
Mike Adams says, okay, y'all, bedtime for Bonzo. Good night. And the words of Tom Schneider, keep smiling. It makes people wonder what you're up to. Jake Lee says, appreciate that, Bear. Richard Wolffe says, you nailed it. Easy to put on layers. You can't take off your skin. Oh, my gosh.
There's a point where you're just totally without fur and you're still hot.
There's for the longest time, Mercedes never sold a car in the U.S. that didn't have a leather interior, except for specialty ones that they sold in Phoenix. Because sitting down on leather or vinyl in Phoenix can actually cause you permanent physical harm.
Yep.
Would you recommend the Harbor Freight 4.5-inch grinder? It's going on sale for $10. It is a great light-duty grinder for DIY home use. I also know some pros who use them, and they'll have like one for each disc, like other non-essential discs. But for other discs that they use occasionally, they'll have one with that disc on it. So, and they'll have a whole row of them. So rather than having to get the wrench out, take the disc off, put it on, they'll just grab one of those, plug it in, go to town for a couple minutes. The key to making them last is runtime. You don't run them for 10, 20 minutes straight. You do short bursts with them. You run them for like a minute, 2 minutes, and then you let them cool down for a minute. Otherwise, if they start feeling hot, shut it off.
Just a second. Chris Gilliam answered that question and said, I suggest the Wen 4.5-inch grinder for $30 over the $10 Harbor Freight one. Very nice for the price.
As a tool that you're going to use more consistently, yeah. I mean, grinders are really one of those ones, like welders, where runtime becomes a serious issue because you're building up heat in that tool. Let's see here. Where was I? Barbecue 76 says, I'm cautiously optimistic about the new Ghostbusters movie after what they did to me in the last one. Yeah. It's... I get that people want to make their own thing. Or they want to take something that they like and make it their own. What I would ask is, do it as a derivative or something. You know what you could have done with that last Ghostbusters? You could have said, like, it's a franchise. They're starting their own franchise in a totally different city. And they could have then taken that at that point and just completely done the same movie. Without trying to basically, because what they're trying to do with stuff like that is they're trying to throw it in the face of the fans, the people who built the series to that point. And then they're like, well, then you got upset about it because you're racist or you're sexist or you're whatever. No. You just took something and you basically attempted to offend me on purpose, and then you're calling me out because I got offended. No. Here in Florida, we call that vinyl hibachi. Ugh. Oh. And Michael says, I just got a M12 Milwaukee set, drill driver hacksaw from Facebook Marketplace, but I don't think I can stay with the platform. what would be a good step down from there? From the M12 line. A step down. I'm trying to think who makes a good, extensive, less expensive 12-volt system. I mean, the rigid 12-volt stuff is essentially the same thing, just slightly, cost down. The new DeWalt stuff, but that's not much less expensive. Skill has a 12-volt line, a new one that they came out with that's got a decent set of tools for it. I don't know if there's anybody who does an extensive 12-volt tool line. How extensive a line do you need? Do you just need like a couple of tools, or do you need like everything you'd get in an 18-volt but in 12-volt? And Joe Smith comes up with the link. If you haven't watched it, Joe Smith just posted it right there. There you go. Go check that out. It starts off a little kind of like, I don't know this, but also it's got Paul Rudd in it. I think Paul Rudd is hilarious. Ride with Chris says, I accept that nerd badge with pride, Mr. Bear. Tool nerd. No. Here's the way, me and my buddy, I got a good friend, and we both look at the, like, he's actually a programmer these days. He was in the Navy. He was an electrician. He's from Georgia. He's into 2A and all the other stuff. And we're geeks because we like to geek out on stuff. Nerds are the people who can't get a date, who don't have social, understanding about stuff, and who go too deep into something. Geeks can geek out about something, can be really into it, but then we can also like sit down and drink whiskey and smoke a cigar and find pretty girls that'll marry us, that kind of stuff. So that's where we draw the line. It's everyone's, up to your own, but that's our philosophy on it. Donna Roth, thank you so much. She says, remember to donate through Streamlabs. There you go. Which, by the way, I wanted to make this comment because I didn't think it came up. I was waiting for it to pop up on the screen. But we received a donation of $4.55 from Wallace. I just want to say thank you so much. That did come through on the Streamlabs donation. We got it. Usually it pops up on screen. We must have missed it or something. I don't know what happened. And let's see here. Michael says it doesn't have to be 12 volt. If you're looking for less expensive, then I would look at Bauer Bauer or Cobalt. So those are the two. What? I didn't do it. You did that. It's empty. Anyway. Let's see here. Indiana Jones 5 planned. Oh, don't say that because they ruined the last one so badly. CP says, Did Tool, should I buy the 41-inch Cobalt Hutch tool chest? It's on sale for $4.98. I would. I think those, I'm really happy with. For home use, I think it's great. Richard says, thank you guys 100 times and good night. Boom. Mic drop. Exit stage left. Evening. Please tip your waiters and waitresses. I'll be here next week. Rimshot. Ting. Richard has left the comment section. And Ford is getting too old to act. Yeah, he is. All right. Anyway, I know we're a little bit early, but I think we're going to call it tonight because I'm about to pass out. I am so tired. And anyway, I haven't been sleeping. Neither of us have been sleeping very well lately. I don't know what it is. But anyway, thank you all for joining us this evening. And thank you for all of you who are here every Sunday night, practically. You guys are amazing. And we love having you as part of our family. And we really do think of you like that. We talk about it throughout the week. And we think you guys are really awesome. Especially you guys who are the moderators who come here every night or every week and hang out with us and help moderate the chats and answer questions and do all sorts of other stuff. If you guys have a second, not the moderators, if everyone else, if you have a second, please pick one of the moderators. Go and check out their channel. Give them a like and maybe consider subscribing because they're creators too, and everyone wants to be successful and have may not everyone have a huge channel where you do it as a career or something else, but you like to create stuff, and it feels good when people watch the stuff you create, right?
Yep, absolutely. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Everyone who supported the channel tonight, thank you so much. You guys rock. You're awesome. It's just, from the first time we got our first super chat, I was like, I can't believe people are supporting us, and I still, every time, I'm like, I can't believe people are supporting us. It's just amazing, this community here on YouTube, and we love each and every one of you. So thank you so much. And also a big shout out to all of our members. That's everyone who, like GVR Tools right there. You see, got the little bear right behind them, and their name's in green. Well, that means that they are a member of the channel. It's like Patreon, but it's built into YouTube, so you don't have to go over to Patreon and do all this other stuff. And if you want to become a member, you just go to the main page on the channel, right where you'd find subscribe next to the little join button. And I think the dollar amounts are $1, $5, or $10, your choice, per month. And we really appreciate everyone who supports the channel and is a member. Anyway, Merry Christmas. We're going to be here every Sunday. I was talking with Joe Smith on the phone right before the stream tonight. And by the way, he says hi. I forgot to tell you. He was...
Do you see the delay we got
and
going
and
on
he
here,
loved
Joe?
the pumpkin bread.
Oh, good. I meant
Yes.
to ask how it arrived.
Yes.
I mean, I shipped it, but, you know.
Anyway. I forgot where I was saying. Anyway. Every Sunday. Thank you so much. You guys take care. God bless. Have a Merry Christmas if we don't see you before next week. Like I said, we're going to be here every Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific. You take care. And as always, shine on.